Gretzky?
No, well, I said as a Dolphins, Orioles, so Marino,
Oh,
Ripken,
right. Oh, all
Ovi.
right, all right.
I don't think he's a better all-around hockey player than Gretzky, but I do think he's probably the best goal scorer of all time, obviously. But longevity helps too.
What real quick, can you hear me? My phone I just switched.
Yeah. Hear you
Well,
loud and
I
clear.
this one's gonna be tough. I don't know if I would go, north of 10 million for Sherwood. I don't know if you could. I
Yeah,
mean, I, I I would go to like 9.5 around there. But if it's a million off and they're close, then I mean, you got to do it. But I don't know if
You gotta do it.
yeah,
yeah. PD, like them. Like, don't worry about the money so much. Worry about the player, man. Like, like the cap is so manipulative. Like like even if it's let's say it's 12 million to keep Sherwood. Do you really want to lose a player of that caliber for $2 million? You know what I mean? Like, it's not our money, right? Like, I know that you can get into a thing of overpaying, but like you look at NFL rosters now, and there's people that are like, look at Jonah Jackson, who just got traded from the Rams to the
yeah,
Bears, like $17 million for an average NFL guard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's with the cap jumping up, like these players are going to cash in. See, like I think the new philosophy in the NFL, if I'm running a team, is like I want to get a year ahead of my young players' contracts and try to extend them before they start to even smell free agency. Because once they hit that market, it's going to be hard to keep them. We saw it with Christian Wilkins and Robert Hunt last
yeah.
year. Like, and I'll be honest, we dodged a bullet in signing Christian Wilkins, and I thought we would when I saw those dollar figures. But like, we're going to do it again this year with Javon Holland. I've heard that Carolina was willing to pay him $20 million a year. That's coming off a season when he was ranked as a bottom five safety in football. Like, you can't play good football players, great football player money and win in this league. So it's like,
Thank you. Thank you,
yeah, but
Neil.
but I see like Jamie and Sherwood. I think is a part of not just the current for the Jets, but for the future.
Now,
And and I think you keep a CJ Mosley, you keep that whole linebacker core intact. Um, and if you find a guy later in the draft, whatever. But like, I think Mosley could be a good vet leader with Sherwood and Quincy getting majority of probably the playing time and snaps. And I do think CJ Mosley probably understands where he is in his career coming off of injuries. I mean, he's a competitive son of a bitch. I actually knew him when he was here in Baltimore. Um, so like, he's a hell of a football player, but I don't think the Jets get really much cap reprieve if they move on from him anyway. So I think it was like $1 million. So if it's only $1 million, that leadership could go a
Yeah,
long way. So,
Mosley doesn't really save a lot, Neil.
yeah, that's kind of what. Yeah. So what's don't discard him for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way I would look at it. But Sherwood's, when you look at the Jets, like DJ Reed's going to go, right. Like, he's going to get paid way. I mean, not way too much money in terms of him not being a good player, just because he's probably the top unrestricted free agent at corner. He'll
Hmm.
probably fall somewhere in that 17 to $20 million range. And the interesting part is, though, because we'll be in the similar boat with Javon Holland. Like, do you spend big on free agents and mitigate the potential of getting a compensatory pick, or do you try to sign players that were released or trade for them so it doesn't impact your compensatory formula?
Well, yeah, let's go over that real quick. How many players do the Jets really have that'll help with that? Sherwood and DJ Reed.
Yeah, I think those are the two. And then
What?
you
How did
get.
the Ravens get all these, Neil? Like, I mean, I know they all sign, but it's crazy that
Yeah,
they don't spend big.
they're the team that has it really figured out. But like, for example,
They draft well, Petey.
we got
Yep.
yeah
No, I
we
know
got
that.
we have three
That.
compensatory picks coming up, and they're not officially awarded. Actually, we're 49 days away from the draft. That could happen any day now. But we're going to get a third for Robert Hunt, and that was because he played, I think, almost every snap for Carolina. We anticipated getting a third for Christian Wilkins and having picks 98 and 99 back to back, but he missed um, a significant amount of time, enough so that his comp value dropped down to a fourth round pick for us. And that one hurts because he signed a $28 million AAV contract, and we're getting a 4 for him, and then we got a 7th for Deshaun Elliott in Pittsburgh. So I would say that Sherwood, if he did sign, like let's say with Atlanta, he could get you probably a 5th, maybe a 4th if that contract comes out, bigger than anticipated. And I think DJ Reed could definitely get you that 3rd. And if he goes and stays healthy at his next team, you'd get that 3rd round compensatory pick for him.
I am so glad that Sherwood is going to Atlanta, but it doesn't make sense.
Well, I wouldn't say that though, June.
He's going to Atlanta
Well,
because
the Jets have money though. Like it's not like
no,
they don't have
I
any
get
money.
that, but no, this new regime don't look at him like he's worth
But we,
$12 million
but we
linebacker.
don't
That's
know that
crazy.
yet. We'll know, on
Oh,
Monday when the
I can't
tampering
believe.
period
Yo, you
starts.
think Sherwood's a $12 million
No, I
linebacker?
don't. No, I don't. But who's to say he's going to get that? I mean, there's, some people are thinking yes. If they're wrong, okay, they're wrong. But if he doesn't get it, I mean, this guy was on a minimal salary last year. I know free agents get paid big coming off of years, but he had 1 year.
Yeah, yeah,
That's it.
right. Exactly 1 year, and the year he happened to have, the defense was fucking horrible.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm not paying him $12 million.
Like what the fuck are we
I'm not
talking
doing it.
about?
Nah,
That's
I wouldn't
crazy.
either. I wouldn't either. But if it's in that range see, I'm thinking like a Quincy Williams thing, but I think the Jets may have got away with that. The first Quincy Williams, because that was
Oh,
considering how
they got a
Quince,
very good deal there.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
very good
considering
deal.
how good he played, I mean, 3 years,
Yeah,
18 million.
but Peter, do you know how to make linebackers great? You build up the front. You build up that defensive line. That makes it a lot easier. That makes
Facts.
it easier, especially for an athletic linebacker like a Jamie Sherwood type of player. That's when you can really use those physical intangibles into use. Now, obviously, you can't coach instincts. You either have the instincts, or you don't really have the instincts. Um, But we all can agree, I mean, Zach Bond, who played out of his mind last year, I mean, he got a
Yes.
$30 million contract. But the Eagles, they can afford it. The Eagles can afford that contract. He played great
Yep.
within the Vic Fangio system, and their defensive line was great. It still is. It still is going to be great next year. They can do that. You don't pay a linebacker that much money for a team that is still trying to figure out what their identity is on defense.
Thank you. The
Well,
timeline doesn't match up.
the Eagles also get out of bad contracts too. When they got out of they gave Hargraves over to the Niners, and now the Niners want to get rid of Hargraves. Like you got to know when
Yeah,
to get off of people too.
The Eagles push back a lot of money, by the way, and put void years in their contracts.
Yeah,
Well,
they
every
got rid of
team
Hassan
does that.
Reddick.
Howie's
Hold
great.
on.
Well, they if you they really move like the Patriots. Like they'll get rid of you near your peak. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put somebody younger here.
All
They
right,
did the
so
same thing at
Neil,
running back too.
yeah, showtime, real quick. So Neil, I don't think over the cap updated yet, but look at this. In 2027, it says that uh, Barkley has a $21 million cap hit, right? 21.408, and it says the contract voids February 20th. Now it says, 4.8 in dead, and they save 16 million, but that's a $21 million hit, correct? That they have to spread out.
Correct.
Yeah, so they pushed
Yes.
$21 million down the road. I know they won a Super
Yeah.
Bowl, but I'm just saying, like,
But,
that's a lot of
but-
money
but-
for a
yeah,
running
but you know what
back.
they know, Petey? They know that the cap is continuing to climb. They know that. So, like, they know, like, let's just say it increases an average of 15% year over year. Like, these GMs are getting ahead of it, and I think to be creative allows you to manipulate the cap in your favor and extend windows. And every team's in a different, junction of their thing. If you're in year one of a new regime with a new head coach, like I don't think you want to do a lot of restructures and pushing the money downhill. You're kind of really stepping in and evaluating your roster, getting your ground under you, see what you need. Um, but yeah, like the Eagles, like look, Howie Roseman's probably, if not the best, he's up there, right, for GMs, and it's also about knowing when to let players go. And like for them, they just won a Super Bowl. Josh Sweat, Milton Williams are going to probably get signed to lucrative deals. They're going to probably be in, on the good side of the compensatory formula for next year's draft. They definitely reload and they're built well in the trenches and have a lot of depth. they have the 32nd pick. That they do it the right way. I sometimes wish that the Dolphins to take a page out of their book and learn that. I will say I am kind of happy with some of the things they've done where they've been able to get Bradley Chubb to rework his deal, so it's not even really a restructure. He's just going to take less money to stay in Miami, which I was surprised. I thought we were heading for a divorce there. But yeah, Petey, there's a lot of ways to skin the cats, and the Eagles are probably ahead of the curve compared to a lot of the teams. Um, but I've kind of agreed with you from the stance of that, like the Jets have to keep a part of that nucleus. They have to have a foundation for Aaron Glenn and Muji to bounce off of. And for me, like it's Olu Fashanu, it's Quinnen Williams, it's probably Sauce Gardner, it's Garrett Wilson, and hell, man, Jamie and Sherwood might be right on the outside of that nucleus. So like if I'm them, I try to find a way to make it work.
Jones, what's up? Go
Good
ahead.
morning. So are we out? So people are saying we're out on Sherwood now, huh?
I'm not. No, but some people don't want to. Listen. It's
Yeah.
not my money.
Jones, you are not paying him $12 million
Mhm.
a year. You're not doing it. You are
He,
not paying him top 10 money. You're not.
yeah, but who says he's? But why is it always he's the? What is it
But
with
but
our?
yeah,
What is it?
that's the
But what is?
conversation. That's the
That's what
I
the
conversation.
question
yeah,
was.
it
That's what
is.
the
That's the
question was.
conversation.
So he's demanding top 10 money after his first year starting.
We don't.
Oh,
I
I don't
don't
know
think.
that.
I don't think he's demanding it. I just think the
That's
market may
that's
be it.
okay. So what is Zach? I'm not saying he's Zach Bond, but where was his contract?
Zach's making what was it? 30 million. He's making 10 million, I believe.
Okay, Zach Bond just signed for 10 million. And I believe Sherwood is 9 to 10, maybe 11. What is wrong? That is not going to set us back, and it's not going to
Oh my
propel
god.
us forward. What?
So wait,
How?
Jones. All right. So you would pay Sherwood? I'm just saying. You would
Yeah.
pay Sherwood 12 million?
No.
But
No.
Oh
But
no,
I'm
never mind.
I'm
He's making
saying
50. He's
no.
making 50. He's making
yeah,
$51 million.
Yeah,
Bond got a
51 for
3 for
3 years.
Jesus
51.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Christ.
just gonna
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
Okay.
right. But does that mean that because this guy set the market that Sherwood now is going to get way overpaid? We don't know.
But that's what the market indicates. That's what the market
That's
indicates.
fair.
That's
Okay.
why
Yeah,
free
that's kind
agency
of
is a
where I was
scam.
pulling it.
That's why free agency is
Yeah,
a
that's
scam.
So Neil, let me ask you something. The guard that just got paid, who is it? The Bears guy now from the
Jonah Jackson.
that
is it
that
Jonah
yeah.
Jackson or
So
Joe Tooney? They just had it too.
Jackson, what do he get? 17 million. He's going to
Yeah,
get.
I think they inherited that contract from the Rams, but yeah, he
All
was a
right.
free agent last year that
So
got way
actually,
too much money.
so John Simpson's actually a bargain for what the Jets got him for, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what the Jets are going to need to do then, try and get
Yeah. All
bargains.
right. So
Well,
I'm looking
and if
at. Go ahead.
I
Go
was
ahead,
just gonna say, if
Jones.
you look at like
After
free
Neil.
agency, like that that's like when I keep saying like you want to go out there and hit some doubles. Like an $8 million contract for John Simpson is smart free agent spending, right? $20 million for a guard that's never made a Pro Bowl is not smart, spending. Like
Hmm.
like we signed a center named Aaron Brewer. Like I was lukewarm when we signed him. He graded out as like a top 5 center in football. Like for $8 million a year, like I feel like that is a sweet spot to find good veteran offensive linemen. And there's a few in this draft. There's in this free agent market, James Daniels, Will Hernandez are kind of popular names that are out there that, you don't have to break the bank for. But yeah, like when there's so much, like there's an abundance, a surplus of salary cap space right now. And the talent that's out there, especially with all the tags and all the re-signings we've seen this week, like teams have to spend a certain amount of their salary cap. They can't just keep it all. Like New England's got to spend. So, that somebody's getting overpaid in free agency. And for me, like I usually love the first week of free agency. Can't wait, the tampering period, all that stuff. I don't think there's too many impact players that can change a franchise that are available out there. So, like to me, it's kind of disappointing that we're gearing up for free agency with you put together a top 10 list. Hell, man, Joey Bosa, who got released yesterday, might be the best available free agent right now. So it's a tough market,
Neil,
you know.
And go to my point is all I'm saying is this with the signing, he's demanding this. People last year, Bryce Huff's demanding this. He wants to sign a very reasonable deal with Philly. Okay, it didn't work out there, but the Jets could have signed him to that. For some reason, people are always thinking, at least our fan base, we're gonna have to overpay him. We're gonna have to give him this egregious amount of money. Meanwhile, they go to the next spot and it's a very reasonable price. I'm looking at the caps right now. Zaire Franklin makes $10 million a year. He's a very nice. He's a nice middle linebacker. The highest paid one is Roquan Smith.
He got overpaid
And
though. You're not.
yeah,
Hey, hey,
yeah,
hey, hey, hey,
He
hey,
got overpaid
he
though.
did.
hey,
He got
He
overpaid.
did. He got
hey,
people.
Jones,
Yeah,
but what you're saying, you got to think about something too. Yeah, they probably charged Philly. Well, he probably sat there and said, "I'll take that for playing for Philly because now
that's
I'm playing for a contender
that's not.
instead of sitting there playing in
I
New
don't.
and playing for the
I
Jets."
don't
You
believe
don't
that,
believe it?
man.
It happens all the time.
I don't believe that, man. These dudes. I know that sounds realistic, but in reality, bro, these dudes want their.
It sounds realistic. You
They
see it happen all the
okay,
time.
okay, and look where he's at now. And I can probably say, well, he would have played more snaps for us, and he would have signed that same deal with us if he knew he would get that guaranteed snap.
Yeah, yes,
So
Teams
Jones.
take
I
less.
agree. Yeah, I
Teams
agree
take
with that.
less.
Good.
Teams take less of money to play for contenders.
no,
It happens all over.
no,
What do
it
you mean?
No,
No,
doesn't.
it happens all over the league.
well, I don't. June. To be fair though, like look at what DK Metcalf is saying. He's saying he wants to be traded to a team that like he don't want to go to the Patriots because he wants to go to a team that's going to win now.
And
Listen, that has nothing to do with what the rest. I mean, majority of players. It depends on where they're at in their career.
But I
Some
don't
of them
think
they
Huff
want.
didn't. Huff took the most money. June. Let's be real. He took the most
so
money.
June, but with us, from the money part aside, I'm looking at his age, and I'm looking at how, luckily Salah. That's one piece we could say that he was a safety in college. He plays the middle linebacker position from what we seen decently well with a diminished defensive line. I'm looking at going to next season. Okay, now we got to bring back Quincy. We have to bring back one of these linebackers.
So why do we
Jones,
have to
Jones, you're
bring
getting
back?
paged, Jones.
Why do we have to bring back one of these linebackers? This
Well,
defense was
how
in
old is
shit
Sherwood?
last year.
He's
gonna get?
25 years old, Neil. That's what I'm
June,
saying.
who are you
Like
gonna
he's
So
get?
still
that's
he's 25. Like
and
June.
PJ.
Showtime.
That's
I'm not Showtime. So my bad, show. Coach, don't start your shit in the morning, man.
But who you
well,
but
it's
I
show,
just asking
show,
who you gonna get?
show. He always do this shit, me
Again, if
man.
you
Yo,
if you
Jones.
build up
Sometimes,
if you build
some,
up the defensive line, it has been proven. We just seen it this year. Was that it has been proven that if you can build up the front, that if you can build up the defensive line, that as long as you have a linebacker with the physical intangibles to play the position, they can excel and be better. We just seen
but that wasn't proven though. That's been football.
we it was
That's been
proven.
foot. That's all. That no. What I'm saying.
Jeremiah Coloso, Bobby Enrique with the Giants. I mean, they have nice defensive lines. They
But when you say something is being proven, you're saying like it's new. Like football's been the trenches. Like that. If you're strong in the trenches, you're gonna win 9 out of 10.
Right. That's why I think that's where the money
Should
you should
go.
be investing
Right,
in the trenches.
right.
That should be the number one priority is to invest in the trenches, and anything else is second fiddle.
Fucking
But I think
Sherwood,
what
of
All
I,
all
right,
fucking
I
people.
I think
wait,
what June is
show
arguing. Sorry.
one sec before Mark says, can I say something, please? Mark, just jump in. I don't want to.
Hi,
I'm
good
not.
morning. Uh,
Please don't be
before,
wild. But first of
no,
all, Mark,
before,
we
yeah,
hope your daughter, was okay yesterday.
Yeah.
Praise
Prayers
up,
up.
Sending
thank
brother.
thoughts
you.
and prayers.
Blessings.
Bless. Thank you. I want to share an update on that real quick, and then I need to tackle some of the stuff I've been hearing because my ears are burning on this stuff. But,
Tackle, huh?
um,
Tackle. Oh, you came out here with your chin strap on. Go ahead, continue.
oh, every day. Yesterday was a really great day for my family. I want to say thank you again for folks that are not up to date. Um, at birth, my daughter was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, and after doing lots of physical and all kinds of different therapies, we decided to learn about stem cell therapy. And so we have to pay for all of that out of pocket because unfortunately it's not covered. And so we did a GoFundMe, and because of the community and friends and family, and the community especially, we were able to raise a remarkable amount of money in a very short amount of time. We about a month and a half ago, we did the first procedure for her, which was a fat extraction to like get cells, which then they have to culture for stem cell therapy. Yesterday was her first actual treatment. For any parents that are in here, there are a few things I think more painful for a parent than trying to see like have an IV administered to a 2-year-old. It's absolutely brutal. So for anyone who's kind of going through stuff and has been through it, like it's very, we're talking like 40 minutes nonstop of, you know, it's tough. It's very, very difficult. So the veins are very small. They're very tiny and fragile. It's very hard, and hard on us. That said, the procedure went through. She like terrifically got her home, actually was able to do some more therapies with her in the late afternoon. I'm already starting to see a difference, although it's still very early in the process. It's like getting supercharged. Like it's the energy. She's got 4 times the amount of stem cells in her body right now that she did before the procedure. And these are the building blocks of your body. So anyway, we're very hopeful, and I want to give that quick update to the room.
Awesome to hear, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Mark. Thanks. Now,
Great
So,
news, man. Great news.
now, Mark is gonna bring the room down with his. All right. Yes.
thank you. Okay,
Mark,
let me now.
let's not bring the room down with a bad take here. Let me hear the tackle.
Here, hold on. Let me mute for a second, and then let me get me and Mark on the line. Hold on.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
All right. Hey, Pete. So it's another edition of let's create more holes on a team with holes and get more draft capital for quarterback for a draft without a clear can't miss quarterback. But hey, let's get more lottery tickets and let's build some culture for the future. Hey guys, we got to start. I just want to see Pete. I just want to see them go out there and compete. Can we just do that? And do what the fuck are we talking about in here? Listen, Sherwood is a homegrown talent. I understand Salah made the guy like, but the guy's. I know he's a converted safety and the rest of it, but the guy's been. They lost C.J. Mosley, and this guy's been a sure tackler. And you're trying to create more holes on a team. And what are you going to do? Like, what are we doing? I don't understand. Like, let players that play here and do well and compete. Let them stay here.
Mark, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you the question. Are you
Holy
willing?
shit.
Are you
Go
willing
ahead,
to
Joey.
pay Jamie Sherwood $12 million a year?
Yeah,
Of course. Of course.
This is what happens here. Is
Mark,
that folks they get obsessed
avoid
with
the
the
question,
cash.
Answer the
though,
question. Right, exactly.
Mark, for
Sure.
real.
Then yeah, sure. Pay everybody. All right, pay them all.
No.
Yeah,
See, there it is.
See what I'm saying?
There it is.
See what I'm saying? Yo,
Except for
his team was
ABC,
5
who's
and
traded,
fucking
and
12. I
maybe
mean, 5 and
Brees.
12 last year.
Because
5 and
you know
12
you're not
Yeah.
going to do it. You're not doing it. We know you're not going to do it.
with one of the worst defenses last year. You want to bring every fucking body back? What? I don't get this shit.
June, it was that kind of thinking that got the head coach fired. It's how the defense fell off a cliff.
The
Stop.
head coach was in shit. He should have never made it into the season.
Oh
I
my
said that
God! They were
already.
top 4 defense 5 weeks in, then they fire the coach. The whole shit goes off. The only people that believe that what you're saying, June, are folks that want to justify the decision to fire the coach when they did. I'm sorry. I don't.
You act like he didn't deserve to be fired in the first place.
Mark, Salah should have been gone.
Like, what are we
Mark, to
talking
be fair.
about? You,
Oh my
To be
God!
fair.
the only person who likes Salah more than you is fucking Shanahan. That's it. I don't
It's not about
understand it.
liking. It's not about liking the coach. It's about putting my emotion. Actually, it's about putting your emotions aside and actually watching the games. That would help.
But
when it
you
comes to
never
this.
take cap into account. Never. You
Who
feel it's
cares about
irrelevant.
that? I don't care about the cap.
The league does, Mark. The league does.
You know what I care? Well, you know what? Well, then you know what? The fucking top CPA in the world should be a fucking football coach. Then let them run a football team.
Oh, come
for all the
on.
roster. No, because it's a bunch of bullshit.
So
I
Mark,
care about.
let me just ask you a
Second.
question.
Let me. I'll just say this in a land. What I care about is good players on my fucking football team. Guys that understand the assignment and can play great football. And I believe in coaching and player development because I think that if you work it through the draft and you develop the players that you draft and you hit way more than you miss, then all the money on the back end actually works itself out. I'm focused on the cause, not a symptom, which is the cap.
Great. Why do teams cut these players? Like why does Debo, like you think the Niners with no Ayuk didn't need Debo in that room? You don't think they needed that talent?
Buckeye, they're forced to
No, we
do stuff
didn't
like
need
that
Debo
for
in that room with
money,
no Ayuk.
but you have to remember the other side of the
The
coin.
49er fan can answer
Don't
that
ignore
question.
it.
No, we didn't need Debo in that room without Ayuk.
If you know how to develop
I'm sorry.
players
What
and
did
you
that
go,
I didn't hear what was said.
We
that's
didn't need
Sneagans.
Debo
Go
in
ahead,
that room
Sneagans.
without Ayuk. The 49er fan can answer that question.
You didn't need Debo. So who's your receiver room?
Our receiving room without Debo, which we still have Ayuk. We have Kittle. We have Ricky Pearsall.
No, you don't have Ayuk. You don't have him. He's not
We
healthy.
have Brandon Ayuk. He's on the roster, Buckeye. He's not.
No, that's fine. He can't play.
He's missing maybe the first 4 games.
Bullshit.
And we still have Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall and a draft.
Oh, that's a scary room. That's a scary room
a
for a
draft
team
and
that
free
is at
agency.
the end of the
Better
window.
than
That's
ours.
really scary.
And a
It's
draft
better
and
than
free
ours.
agency.
No, it's not about being better.
Go
My
back to the
point
Jets
doesn't need
conversation.
to be diluted.
Go ahead,
Teams
Mark.
cut players because of cap. Because of cap.
Because of Buckeye.
I don't know what's
Buckeye,
Someone trying to break
Yo,
in
who
Udo
the
on this
understood
thing.
what
the
the
perfect
hell?
way
Hold
last
on.
season.
All right. Good morning.
Go ahead,
All right.
Mark. His question was answered.
Go ahead.
What's going on back there?
It wasn't answered.
Yeah.
It was blatantly
All
answered.
right.
Teams cut players because of cap.
Yes.
Period. The end.
Okay, Buckeye. I will agree with you on, especially Rodgers. When I found out that dead cap hit for the following year was worse, the Jets had to move on. They had
Mark
to.
didn't want to. He didn't care.
No, but
He's like, we pay him and pay him and
I
pay him and
wanted
pay him.
Rodgers, but
The
still, you had
problem
to
with
move
this
on.
conversation,
After this, Mark,
Pete,
get to the hands. All right, please.
No,
All right,
no.
I'm sorry.
One second, Mark.
Holy shit.
Mark, do you think that Buffalo would have preferred Diggs last year? Do you think the team would have been better with Diggs last year?
When we listen to Bills fans talk about it, they say, well, listen,
I'm
hold
not
on a
asking
second.
them, Mark. I'm
we
asking
believe
you.
in our holy. You know what? I'm just going to go on mute. I'm tired of trying to answer a question and getting interrupted. All right, I'll take a break. Go ahead, guys.
Just answer it, Mark. Buckeye, let him answer it.
Look, what I'm saying is, if you listen to Bills, first of all, how did you feel like their offense performed last year? I think they did all right.
Buckeye, you're not allowed to
Bills
answer
fans were
yet.
telling us, you know what, guys, it's going to be addition by subtraction. I know we're getting rid of Diggs and we're getting rid of Gabe Davis, but we're bringing other guys in. It's going to be, a committee approach. We're going to commit to running the football. Don't act like we don't have Bills fans in here all the time telling us exactly what the strategy
doesn't answer what I asked.
is.
Is
and
the
now
team
what
better
they're
or
moving
worse
to,
with Diggs in the room?
they're a much better team now.
They are better.
They're a much better team.
Man,
because now
the team was better with Diggs out of the room.
They got to clear the money out with Diggs. They cleared the money out. Now they're
hold on. There you go. They cleared the money out, Mark. There you go. Now you finally hit something.
Did you watch?
They cleared the money out.
Buckeye, did you watch Buffalo play last year?
Yeah, Mark, you just said they cleared the money out.
How far did
you
they
just
get?
took a noose, wrapped it around your neck,
Diggs?
and jumped off. Like that's what just happened. They cleared the money out.
That's rhetorically cute, but you're missing my point.
The
point is they cleared out the
money
guy.
out? Why wouldn't a CPA come in and fix the cap like you said? CPAs just should do what they need to do.
Some capologists.
Wait, hold on, Mark. Mark, to be fair though, and then we'll get to the hands. Mark, just come off mute for this one. Mark, you were the one that was saying Legion of Twos and all that, because I even thought the Bills would be worse letting Diggs go.
What I said last year.
Go ahead.
What I said last year is that with Diggs and Davis gone, it's going to put more pressure on Josh Allen and more pressure on their play caller to sort out, okay, well, how are we going to make this offense work? And what they did was they believed in their O-line, they believed in their run game. They turned Josh Allen into he did his thing, but really he turned into a fantastic game manager. It shocked me the amount he found a way to control, to protect the football. Shocking to me. One of the most shocking developments last year. And it's a key to, and he won MVP because of it. And now Buckeyes fixated on Diggs and the money? Come on, dude. That's fine. I get it.
So the Rams doing what they're doing, the Niners doing what they're doing, Buffalo all this cap stuff on teams that are way better than the Jets. Not even close. Way better than the Jets. They're clearing cap numbers, but you're saying get the right CPA. He could fix it.
No, what I'm saying is
that's what you said.
What I hear is fans being obsessed with the salary cap and forgetting that
it's a thing.
All right. Listen, then let's let two spreadsheets put uniforms on the spreadsheets and let them battle it fucking out. It's silly because it's not seeing the whole picture. You got to see the players and the performance and the coaching, all that shit, and then the cap is part of it. But people that see the shit only through the cap, I'm sorry. In my opinion, in my viewpoint, you're blind.
Okay.
That's just
Well,
me.
Mark,
Yep.
then I look at I don't
You're in the
You're in the
blender, Pete.
blender, Pete.
I just wonder why the Rams are turning off of Cooper Kupp. They don't need him. He sucks.
No, I'm sure he's a good player, but listen, if you believe in your coaching,
He's a
and you
hell of
believe
a better player than
you can
Sherwood.
if you
Facts.
believe that you can prospect and you can develop talent and you can draft and you can evaluate, then guess what? You go find the next. You really think people
There
can't
you
find
go, Mark.
great players in the draft?
There you
Of
go,
course you
Mark.
can.
So why are we worried about Jamie Sherwood leaving?
Of all
Yeah,
people.
why are we worried
That's
about a
crazy.
because
safety
Because
he's a
turn
starting
linebacker that
middle
we
line.
can't go
because
into
He's
a
a
he's
starting linebacker,
a
though.
starting middle
So is
linebacker.
He's a
Cooper
starting
Kupp,
for the
starting wide
Jets.
receiver
this
with
is the problem.
credentials.
For the
And if you
fucking
draft
Jets.
a good player and you develop him in house, he's got no off the field issues. And he filled in for C.J. Mosley. Like
No,
I'm done explaining myself. Go
you know
ahead.
what?
You
Use
guys
his
I
have
got a
name
I,
for
question
a
for
deep
you.
I like
Wait,
that.
tackle.
Well,
wait,
we
wait,
got
wait,
we got
wait.
we,
Use a
we got to
deep
get we,
tackle.
we
I
got
got a question for you. How many other teams do you think Jamie Sherwood would fucking start on?
What, bro?
A
At least
lot
over half the league.
now.
Oh,
Over half the
more? Are
league.
you kidding me?
Are you?
Are you kidding me? Wait. You just said more than half
Yes.
the teams in the league.
This.
You know
Yes.
what? I'm going on mute.
Are we?
He's
June,
Delusional.
Are we?
fast. He
June,
can cover.
Delusional,
He can
June.
tackle.
June.
He's smart.
He's having articles written about him how he's going to cash in on free agency. This guy's a wanted player.
Okay. Petey,
Sounds like Braxton
Petey,
Berrios.
if even if this
No.
guy, even if this guy was signed
Your
for,
career at Sherwood to Barrios?
It ain't
oh
far off.
wow, you can't
All
change
right,
people.
let's.
I'd
Sorry, you
rather
have
use the
hands,
money
Pete.
Yeah,
for
I
a deep
know.
tackle.
All right, let's get to the. I don't know who the
It's
decorum
just
is or whatever, but
Yeah, Neil had the hand out for a minute.
thanks, Jarek.
No, hey, I was just going to say that I threw that $12 million figure out for Sherwood, and it can be high. But what I tried to do was say that if Bond made 3 years, $51 million, and he got 17, Sherwood is a 25-year ascendant player. It wouldn't be far. It wouldn't knock my socks off to see him get 12. Maybe he's closer to 10. I didn't mean to open up a big
It's all
can of
right.
worms about the cap, but
Neil.
I do think he's a player that his contract, like when you're fans and we're looking at contracts, I always try to tend if the Dolphins are approaching someone to be like give the benefit of the doubt that he's going to sign for cheaper, but like it doesn't always work like that, especially a young guy like that who's going to have demand. Like, he might sniff that $12 million. So I like Zach Bond at this time last year, you know, wasn't considered one of the top interior linebackers in football, and he was on the Saints and got moved to the Eagles. Like, it happens all the time, but I do think Sherwood's a good football player, and I think there's validity to both sides of the argument that the salary cap does matter. There's ways to manipulate it. So for me, the guaranteed money in this salary cap is what really, really matters. But I do think the Jets are in a unique position where they just got rid of some older football players that they went all in on Devontae Adams and obviously Aaron Rodgers, a young ascendant linebacker like Sherwood playing next to Quincy Williams with CJ Mosley coming back for probably his swan song in the Big Apple. Like, I feel like that could be a position of strength for the Jets, not to minimize that they have a lot of needs outside of that as well. But, I think it would hurt Jets fans if he goes to Atlanta and realizes his potential and he's one of the ones that got away.
It's
That's
Mario Davis
That's
all over again.
Neil. What's funny is he's gonna sign for about 10 to 11 million per year for a team that's average or lesser than us or just above us, and he's gonna be over there playing ball. And then when CJ Mosley old ass is on the field, we're gonna have these same guys in here. Why is CJ Mosley on the field? All right. When we lose Quincy Williams and CJ Mosley next offseason, and we don't have a middle linebacker on the field, they're going to be saying draft one. Why can't we just keep this guy?
yeah,
CJ
Jones. Good
Mosley,
point.
let
Jones,
CJ
you
Mosley go. CJ Mosley's out of here next year. Quincy Williams probably will be out of here next year. We have Jamie and Sherwood. We'll bring in a middle linebacker late in this draft, in the middle of next draft, and we will get them acclimated. But no, we want to just get these.
Jones. I don't want to get rid of him, but we have a lot of money next year too after this year. So, but
I don't.
I agree with your
You got
point.
a lot of people you got to pay too,
Yeah,
Petey, right?
yes, but guys, in the
So most of the money is accounted for, right?
no, because when you do a
and that's the
deal,
problem.
usually the first year though of the deal is low. and then you
It's not
spread the bonus out over the period of the cap.
And it's
So Petey, hold on, because let's say we're a 4-win team this year. Now you want to pay everyone, and you spread it out. Like what are we doing? We're just paying a team that wins 4 games, 5 games, 6 games, 7 games.
nobody.
What do you mean? No, that's all we've been.
Okay.
Nobody's doing that. But I'm not about to say we're accounting money for next year when you got the same guy saying trade these players right now. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, does that set us back signing Sherwood? Does that set us back 2 years? Does
No.
I don't think it does. Especially,
Exactly. So
I
what are we
don't think it
doing?
does. I don't think it does.
It's a
This
new
is why.
player. It's
This
a
is
new
why I think
player
the
every
Jets.
week
This
that we say trade or let go. It's a new player legit every week.
this is why I think the Jets should address the trenches. They should address like that. That's why I'm going to continue to stamp on that. Address the trenches. That's the most important part of the. To me, that's my investment. That's where I'm trying to go after. Now, again, if you pay Jamie Sherwood, let's just say $6 to $7 million per year, I think that's his value, and I think he's going to have a good season this season. I think he's going to have a good season.
Hey,
I
Jarek,
see him
just.
at $6 to $7 million, and I think that's solid.
But Jarek, given this free agent market is weak as hell, and he's only 25 years
Oh,
old, you don't think he's going to get
he's going to get
overpaid?
more.
Bingo.
He's
Yep.
going to get more. He's because again, Bobby Enrique, let's be honest, has had one great season. Jeremiah Cole-Wosu has had one great season. And as soon and when they got those contracts, it was off of their great breakout seasons, and they got overpaid.
Yep.
I'm
Correct.
sorry,
Christian
you don't.
Kirk got overpaid.
Christian Kirk got
Jared?
exactly. He got free agency is a scam. It is a place where you
Yeah. Can I
overpay
just say
players
one
that are
thing,
beyond
Jared,
their value.
please?
But
Speaking of
is
more,
that is that
let's get
free
more
agency
people
though?
in the
If we're
combo with
re-signing a
their
player
hands
that's
up.
on our team, that's technically was on our team. Is that
No,
exactly?
but do you think Christian Kirk should have got $20 million
No,
a year?
Jones, do you have
No
remorse that
way.
we lost Huff? Do you have
nah,
remorse
I
on that?
no, I don't.
Well, now you
No,
don't,
I
right?
don't have remorse. But when I seen
Because
his
you drafted well
no,
with Will McDonald.
when I seen his when
There
I
you go.
seen his
Thank you.
Buckeye, do
no,
you have remorse that
Ridiculous.
that we got rid of Demario Davis?
Sure,
But
light
See,
we did
people
remorse. I'm not
trade.
losing
forget.
any sleep.
People
Mark,
forget.
get to the hands after
I'm
after
sorry.
this, all
People
right?
listen. It's an
Go
argument
ahead.
about homegrown talent versus let's get more draft picks and hope they hit and then develop and the rest of it. And that's a time play rather than I listen. What do you believe? If you can't talk and you're a listener, please comment on the room. Do you believe in drafting and developing homegrown talent, or I don't know, shipping talent out of town, getting draft picks, and then just keeping the team young, and then hoping on your coaching staff? I guess is how
You
kind of
gotta
what
hope
I'm hearing.
to find the right balance.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think we're on
Yeah, you
two
got to
two
because
opposites of those.
you're not gonna
June.
like you want to use an example because you're not just gonna win on solely just developing draft picks. We all can look at the Eagles as a prime example. they even had to make a couple trades, free agent signings to put them over the top.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to find that perfect balance.
What did the Eagles do first? They addressed the trenches. That's
Well, no,
been their
I
single
never said never addressing the
foundation.
trenches. I live by the beer. Too early for beer. The Bill Parcell quote: "If you don't have an offensive line, you don't have a football team." I
Thank
understand
you.
that.
Yep.
I
Mm-hmm.
understand that, but I'm just saying to answer the question and broadly answer the question, you have to find the perfect balance because you're not going to win. You can't just
Yep.
spend and you can't just
Mm-hmm.
draft. It's just that's how
Yep.
NFL works. Same thing in the NBA.
You have to find a foundational piece. Like that's the first, and that's what I think the Jets have to do. You have to find that foundation and build around that foundation. And if you don't have that foundation, then throwing away money is not. I mean, that's a band-aid. That's a band-aid over something that requires surgery.
All right, can we get to the hands, please?
Yep, doing
I
that
don't know
now.
who's next.
Let's just pick a guy.
Curtis, get Curtis first, and then because I don't want Curtis to start saying y'all need to change the conversation. Good morning, Curtis. Hope you're good.
No,
Hope
no,
everything's
I'm
well.
excellent.
I'm
Everything is
messing with
great.
you. Good.
Everything is great, man. Here's the thing, and I really don't want to be the realistic guy right now, but the bad part is free agency is starting Sunday. Let's be honest, it's already started, and you did not even try to negotiate with this man once. Bro, he's good as gone. I don't even know why y'all even thinking he's staying. He's gone because you had at least a year to start something up. Then his coaches are gone, so I'm already under the assumption Sherwood's gone. So we can just get our emotions out of that. Money, no money,
Well,
it is
Curtis,
what it is.
real quick on your point, though, I believe Quincy Williams, when he hit the free agency a couple of years ago, signed like a day or two before the tampering period starts. So
Yeah, but he
there
wasn't.
was there was a report, though, that both sides are interested in coming back with each other, with Sherwood and the Jets. So
Yeah, but you gotta understand that's a
I
week
get what
before
you're
free
saying.
agency, and that's agents talking to whoever's negotiating. Like, look, man, the Jets gave us a number, and y'all not close to it. That's what that message gives out. That wasn't for the Jets saying, "Hey, man, we're real close." That's for the other guys saying, "Hey, you need to push up some more money, or he's going to stay where he's at." That's what that is, man. So I don't think we keep it Sherwood. I'll be pleasantly surprised if we did, but I think that's done.
All right. I mean, I would be if he gets 12, 13 million, I mean, I wouldn't be as upset, but if he gets like a $9 million deal, let's see who the Jets bring in.
You wouldn't
But
be upset if they pay him $12 million, PD?
the Jets? No, I'm saying if he
Oh, I'm about
leaves.
okay.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, if the Jets do overpay a little bit for him, hey, that's part of free agency. I'd like to see the Jets retain Sherwood. That's my stance. Tom Ford.
Morning,
Dun
everybody.
dun
How are
dun
y'all?
dun dun dun. Tom Ford. Good.
Morning, man.
Morning, Petey. Morning, June. Morning, Mark. Morning, everybody else in the room. Looks like we're on the talk about keeping, I guess, our best free agent of Sherwood this morning. Because sorry, I jumped in a little late as far as that goes. But Mark, the thing you were saying earlier about how people are obsessed with the cap. People, as we know, we love doing mock drafts. We love being capologists in a way too. Part of it is it's part of fandom these days. Because in other sports, people look, oh, can this work to get this player? People want to spend this money. Like, just to say baseball for a second. Because, Peter, as a Mets fan, we have the richest owner. We are paying the tax already because they called it a tax after him, quite frankly. And fans still want him to spend way more when there's an injury going down every time instead of next man up. That just seems like that's sports. That's just society these days, especially in New York sports. Because, the Jets, with the drought that we've had, we want something. We want it to be spent right. That's always the key. Money just got to be spent right. Let's see what Moose, does with the cap. Now, as far as Sherwood goes, do I want to keep him? Of course. But if he's like 13, 14 million to go somewhere else, I'll understand it because free agency and it being, weak position in free agency and people need everything, he's going to get paid a little bit. I mean, I hope he would at least give us the, we drafted him discount. But if he doesn't, I'll wish him well. I'm not going to hate on him. But I do hope the Jets at least make an effort. Like if say they come up to 11 million, he takes 13 million. I can more than live with that. That's where I'm at personally when it comes to Sherwood. Maybe my cap would be 11 and a half per year for 3 years because, as stated, I believe by 2 speakers ago, we don't try to keep Sherwood. Then after when Mosley goes, then we got to completely rebuild the middle linebacker room and core. That's not going to be good either. Let's at least try to do something there, so that way we don't have even more holes next year instead of holes on top of holes. That's just what I want to at least say as far as that goes this morning, guys.
Yeah, that's fair, Tom. I can't push back really on that.
All right.
What? So, anybody else want to comment on that before I get to Jim? Or are we good?
You're good? All right.
Tom, stay up
All
here.
right.
Yeah. Jim, let me hear your thing on this or whatever you want to talk
What's
about.
up? Well, if you remember early in the week, I mentioned Sherwood, and if he left, I'm going to be kind of upset. I started that before all of a sudden all these little Sherwood fucking game tweets are coming out and saying he's going to get paid. June is killing me. Like we can't get rid of every fucking young guy on this fucking team. I don't think this guy's not gonna break the bank with a contract. Like he's gonna get a nice deal, I think, from somebody. Hopefully, like I hope it's the Jets. And one thing I'm pissed about, like fucking Douglas did this shit. We always like fucking going and not paying our guys. Like some guys fucking outdo their contract before, the first few years. Other teams lock up their young guys. The Jets are always just going to the end of their fucking contracts and playing fucking hardball and all this shit with all these young guys. And then, they hit free agency and we got to sweat it out. Like, I hope Muji like locks guys up. Like they're not paying a ton of guys, the Jets. They're not. They're gonna have Sauce, they're gonna have Garrett, they're gonna have Sherwood, yeah, AVT, you know,
Quincy.
Quincy. Okay, like
It's a lot of guys.
That's not a lot of guys. No, it's not.
Jim, you know why it's a lot of guys?
What?
Because this team sucks and we need a lot of guys still.
We need a lot.
Okay, but that's not a lot of guys because we're not paying. Other teams have a quarterback to pay, top dollar. They have wide receiver one. They got defensive ends they got to pay. Like it's not a lot of guys. The Jets have cap space. Like sometimes you just got to take care of your own and stop making it go down to the fucking wire or free agency.
Okay.
Like someone said they had a year to they could have done it last year. Like they could have done it in the year when he was balling out. Like they got to stop. Like
well,
there are guys, certain guys you have to pay.
look,
That's who yeah, June, what's up?
Jim, just maybe they wanted to re-sign him, but Woody was like, "Well, you guys ain't even gonna be here no longer, so I'm not letting you do shit. Let the new regime decide if they want to keep him or not." Once again, bringing in a whole new scheme. Does this guy fit the scheme? This guy's an undersized linebacker. Really, he's really a safety.
Well,
He's really a safety playing linebacker. Does he want that? Like, I mean, it's a lot of things to take consideration. On top of that, his former coach, who loves him, is now in Atlanta. And of course, he's now the new DC in Atlanta. He wants to do good, so of course he wants to bring over some players that he coached prior. So I mean,
I
it's a
get
lot
it,
of things.
but I get it. But then they better come out and say, if Sherwood does walk, then they better come out and say, well, he doesn't fit our scheme. He's not the kind of guy that we want, or he gets $5 million over what the Jets offer him if they offer him anything. Whatever. They better come out and say shit like that. Like you need the point is you need players. They want good players. You need good young players to have, start somewhere. You can't get rid of every fucking good young player.
But
But if they come out and say that, I'm good with it. If it doesn't fit, their mold of what they want as linebackers, but who's gonna fit that mold? Then you better go pay Quincy then. Like don't let Quincy, fucking play out the year. Like some guys you gotta pay. Well, you gotta stop playing hardball with every young player on this team.
But Jim, who do you not pay? Who? I just
right.
Please just give me a couple of guys who you're like, you know what? If there's going to be a casualty, it's going to be him. And please don't say Brees, please.
Yeah, but Brees is an easy one not to pay though.
Okay, so besides Brees, besides a running back in the NFL, because that's and I'm not saying you, but it's the laziest of the casualties, and still, 80% of this room is fighting for Brees.
Yeah.
Well,
This is
I'm
crazy.
not looking about who you don't pay. All I'm looking at is we have one wide receiver that we have to pay. We have one linebacker or maybe two linebackers that we're going to have to pay. We have one offensive lineman that we're going to have to pay in AVT. We have
Cornerback,
one cornerback that we're going to have to pay. So, like, what do we got? 6 guys?
defensive end.
But Jim, you got to go over what you don't have on the roster. That's the expensive part. What you don't have on the roster, which is a lot.
Yeah, I get it, but I think they're gonna fill a few holes. They're probably gonna get 3 or 4 guys because the free agency class isn't that great. So they're gonna get a couple guys from Detroit to play on defense.
Right.
They'll probably get a tight end, but again, the guys out there, those guys aren't what Sherwood is. They're gonna get lesser contracts. I think what Sherwood's gonna get. So you can pay Sherwood and these other few guys to fill holes in year one of your regime. But like, can we like this guy actually played very well this year?
Yeah, but wait.
Why are we playing
Wait,
hardball with
wait,
every fucking young
wait.
guy we
No,
got?
no, 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 no. This is still a team that went 5 and fucking 12. They went 5 and 12. You guys gonna bring everybody back.
We don't want to bring everybody back,
No.
but
It
like
needs
this
to be
guy.
some changes
Right, yeah,
somewhere
but did
down the
this?
line.
Yeah, but June,
That's
did this guy
towards
play
me.
well?
That's towards me.
June, did this guy play well this year?
He played decent. I'm not gonna sit
Uh
there. No. Listen, he played decent. He was also a part of the problem in passing. So let's not act like this guy was fucking perfect. He wasn't. He was. Look, I get that we want to keep our
Wait,
homegrown
which
players.
player is June criticizing? I lost track. Is it
so
Sherwood we're talking
Sherwood,
about?
come
Sherwood,
Oh,
do
on.
you
okay.
want? Let me
I'm not
ask you
saying
this.
I didn't say he played bad.
Sherwood, if Sherwood, June, if what would you give? Do you want Sherwood back? If you had it, just do you want him back? Yes or no? Would you
No,
like him back?
no,
No,
Not even at
no.
a.
June.
If you don't
Can
have
I
no,
to
go through?
overpay him, you still don't want him back.
Can I go through his numbers,
no.
Jim,
please?
He
wait,
doesn't fit the
Mark, one
scheme.
All right.
second. Hold
No.
on, Jim. I don't want to mute. Jim, June wants Neville Hewitt back.
No, worse. Look, can I
Oh,
go through the numbers? Because uh, June is jumping up and down about the fact that he's a converted safety. When did he switch positions? Is that like 3 years ago? Something like that, but he's
As
holding
soon
that
as they
against
got him, as
him
soon as they got him, he
today.
switch.
Come on, June. All right, so
What?
here's Sherwood's stats last year, and just to be consistent, this is the production we're talking about out of this guy. So with CJ Mosley out, which by the way, that's the experience in the back end, particularly when Ulbrich took the head coaching job, like Sherwood had the call on the field. Okay, he led the league with 95 solo tackles and recorded a total of 158 tackles, ranking him among the top linebackers in the league. He also had some 2 sacks and 3 passes defense. But that, by the way, that performance earned him Jets team MVP. So this is what, when folks are saying, oh, well, let's go get a draft pick instead of Sherwood, I'm just trying to set the stage with actual numbers rather than, oh, he's a converted safety. That's it. I'll go on mute.
Yeah. Now, hold on, because you are a. Why are we like? What are we doing with Brees Hall? Please give me his numbers in the league now. Please, that you're so afraid to lose Brees Hall. Walk me through
But
those numbers now.
Buckeye, he's not a free agent yet. We don't have
But
to
Petey,
do
why
anything
would
with
we
him.
wait till everyone is a free agent, Petey? Why would you do that? Why would you sit here and be like,
So, but
pay
what
him
are
or
you
walk, pay
getting?
him or
What do
walk,
you?
pay him
All
or
right,
walk?
but what
Why?
do you?
I see
But
you,
what are
Dale.
you getting for Sherwood if you let him? Yeah, if you let him, what are you getting out of it?
Pete,
A
figured
lesser
out
Nothing really.
player?
A headache.
I figured out why Buckeye's so
Uh,
eager to get Brees off the team. It's because he wants to install a running back at quarterback. So he's like, this room is too stacked. Now I figured it out.
No, I'm
That's what
looking at
this
a
is really
draft.
about.
what?
I'm
It's
looking at
really
a
about
draft
Justin
stacked with
Fields.
running backs, Mark.
Oh,
That's what I'm looking at.
well,
wait,
see,
All right,
wait.
but
But
Buckeye.
Buckeye, I agree. Like I just said, like they have to pay
No,
some of the
Jim, I
young,
agree. I'm going
some of
with
the young
Mark, who
guys.
thought he was going to recite stats and say, like, what are we doing? So I just asked for the same courtesy with Brees Hall, but he won't do that. You know why? Because his numbers suck. His numbers
When you
suck. The fumbles
understand you
suck.
want to put a
Of
running back in at
course.
quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
it all starts to make sense.
Yeah, you didn't answer
Or
the
Wait,
question,
hold
Mark.
on, no. But Buckeye, if his numbers suck, then why is Brees going to command so much when
Well,
he's
Oh, so you
well,
want
I
got?
to
can
pay
answer
him
that
too,
Why?
question.
Petey?
I'm no. I'm asking in
Well,
general, not just for the
he's going to
Jets.
ask those numbers because he's going to take a look at his career, he's going to take a look at his age, and he's going to take a look at the situation that he's on, and especially because he was the most productive player on the offensive side of the ball. So again,
If I
a
cycle you,
lot of
please
this
don't
is
take offense.
projection. Not
Go
to
ahead.
mention that he is going to be a free agent. He's going to be on top of the free agent market for running backs because a lot of the other running backs are on contracts. Like just because you are a free agent doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're going to an elite that you're going to be an elite player because a lot of the teams are going to retain the best players. But there is going to be a contender or borderline contender that's going to need a running back that feels like Brees is the final piece to the puzzle, and they're going to look at his age, they're going to take a look at his career, and they're going to take a look at his projection, and they're going to pay him the money. Like that's when you should pay a running back. You never pay a running back when you're still trying to figure things out. You pay a running back when it's the final piece to the puzzle.
yep.
Look at the Packers. Look at the Packers. Look at the Eagles. Look at the Ravens. These are championship contending teams. Is it ironic that all of a sudden they had some of the best years of their careers when they went to contenders because they were the final piece to the
Well, look at
puzzle?
Jarek. Look at McCaffrey too. Let's
Yep,
throw him
Christian
in when they
McCaffrey.
traded for him.
Yep,
Wait,
Christian
wait,
McCaffrey.
wait, 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 wait.
So what?
Speaking of some stats, because Mark like to bring up stats. I got to do these. The man had a 13.4 missed tackle rate. that ranks him 37th. Overall grade is 73.8. Pass rush
Ooh.
68.1. Like, what
Mmm.
the fuck are we talking about? We have one of the worst
Mmm.
defenses. Like, come
Mark's
on.
mute button doesn't work.
Come on.
Oh, wait, are you
So
going back to
I'm
Sherwood?
going back to
yeah,
Sherwood, yes.
the character sets. The
But
nature
Because
of
June,
the
all
Mark,
Sherwood
right, so
Mark bring up
continues.
stats. I'm bringing up
Hold on,
stats.
June. He was voted MVP by
Who
his
gives a
teammates.
fuck is the Jets?
Hold
What are we
on.
talking
Hold
about?
on. That
June and
team,
his
that
gang
team,
of
that team
threes.
graded our coaching staff a
Holy
B.
shit. Yes,
They gave
they
him a B
did.
grade. Yeah.
They gave all brick a B. So we talking
Yeah.
about
I
the same.
can't.
Come on.
If these guys are in charge of roster construction, it's going to be the bad news bears next year
June
for the
just wants
Jets.
his
This is
gang of threes
crazy.
this year.
I know. I don't understand.
Fucking Jim.
None of this makes sense. But listen. If you don't have a locker room, it's so easy to build culture because you don't. There's no one to really teach it to. It's great. So
The
that's
only
what we're looking
culture
at.
that's in this
Go ahead,
organization
Dale.
is a losing culture right now. And you got to change it.
Well,
Dale,
We
good
change
morning.
that by
facts.
getting getting rid
Maybe.
of every good
Maybe.
young player.
Maybe.
hang
Here's
on,
the
Well,
culture.
coach. Hang on, coach. We'll
Get
get
some
you
I,
back
I
picks
up.
think
for a quarterback next year.
I think the question that you guys need to be asking yourselves with certain players is number. I have this problem sometimes talking to my own fan base. It's very rare to have a perfect player that doesn't have some sort of flaw or has something that they need to get better at. And this idea that you could just find players at every position that are flawless, like they just grow on trees, is kind of nuts. I understand the want to be better, but when you look at your entire team, you're talking about at very least 30 guys that are going to get significant playing time. You're never going to have a team where you have 30 players that are perfect. So when you're talking about some of these players, and I'll use Sherwood as an example because I thought for a player that got significant playing time for the first time in his career, he's a good player. I think because he's young, he has a ton of room to grow. And I
Thank you,
think in
Dale.
that circumstance, you have to ask yourself about that player is can this guy grow? Number one, what kind of attitude does he have? Number one, can this guy grow? Number two, and then when you're talking about bringing a player like that back, the answer to the question is, are we getting a discount on him? Are we getting a deal on him? Are we overpaying for him? And you never want to be in a circumstance where you're overpaying for a player that can't do everything.
Yep.
But if you can get this guy in a deal and you have confidence that he can grow, these are the guys you want to keep, especially if his attitude checks out first and foremost. And I'm guessing if there's one thing you can come from when a team votes a guy an MVP is he probably checks that box because I don't care how good of a player is. If he's an asshole, nobody's collectively on your team voting him for anything. So I think you got to look at it from that perspective because sometimes when even when I'm talking with my own fan base about players, it's almost like there's this expectation of perfection. And I don't care what level of sports it is, it really doesn't exist. There's no perfect player. Everyone has some sort of flaw, and you'll get the Hall of Fame, all first ballot, all-time greats that are as close to flawless as possible. Other than
Yeah,
that, that's how you got to look at these guys.
Dale, can I give you the other side of the argument, which is the side that I want to hear instead of trashing the player, which is that with a new defensive staff coming in, I would believe that even if they let Sherwood go, I have to believe that this coaching staff with Glenn and Wilkes in there can kind of get a young player or draft a player up to speed quicker. You got to hope that that happens. And the other part of it, which we have to have, this is I think the most important context, is Barnes. Will the Jets go and get Derek Barnes to because again, Glenn is going to want to put folks in that understand his scheme, his system, and his culture. So that's the argument, not trashing Sherwood's play, but rather, are they going to try to put a leader in there that wants to run it Wilkes way, Glenn's way? Like
Well,
that's the much stronger argument. But
and
we haven't heard that this morning.
Mark,
Instead, we're just trashing a young player. I don't get it.
Mark, I'll tell you this much: if they keep him, it's a huge tell how much those two guys believe in how much he can grow as a player and how they see him as a leader on the team going forward. And I think that that is important. Like,
Well, Mark,
yeah, new coaches, you have to trust their evaluation and them getting the players they want.
Mark, I said that if you can get him anywhere between $6 to $8 million, I think that's a steal. I think that's something that I would try to strike. That's honestly something I would do personally. Now, would I pay him? If you can get him at $9 million, fine. I think it's a little over, but that's fine. But $10 million and up, now that's top 10 money. And now all of a sudden, we just seen organizations like the Browns, we've seen organizations like the Giants. Like you look at the top 10 highest paid linebackers. Look at the teams that they're on, and a lot of it is because of it's because of the Jamie Sherwood situation. It's because they're paying young linebackers that think that they can that think that, hey, these are raw linebackers. We can build around, but we can try to build around these linebackers, and these organizations are failing. Now, obviously, the Jets are, again, we're gonna have to see what kind of happens. But again, I get Dale's point, and if you can pay a reasonable price tag, then absolutely. But overpaying for a linebacker on an organization that's still trying to figure it out, like can you like what organization? How many organizations are succeeding by simply overpaying the young talent when they don't even have foundational pieces set? Not a lot of them are successful.
Hey, Jarek, one more thing.
Can you
The
get through
strength
that,
of
Pete?
this team
Yeah.
on the
Yep.
coaching side is supposed to be Wilkes and Glenn. So the other part of this is, and it's the same thing I thought when we had Saleh and Ulbrich and everyone else. You're not supposed to pay everyone on the defense. You're supposed to produce guys like Sherwood. You're supposed to produce guys like Huff. You're supposed to do projects where you can go into a draft and not have to spend that money. It's the offensive side of the ball. This organization probably has to overspend and get raked over the coals because we lack the offensive intelligence. Let's hope it's changed with this staff to be determined. But I do believe with Glenn and Wilkes, you're supposed to produce products, which is why I'll go back to the Niners. They're letting Pro Bowl Mufanga, he may have even been an all-pro, walk right out that
He
door.
was.
Right.
Wasn't it a
So
3-year program with Sherwood, though? You're acting like it just
but Mark, is
instantly
there
these coaching staff will like sprinkle pixie dust, and the guy's like a starter and leads the league
but
between
Mark,
tackles. That's not how it
any
works.
possibility that Sherwood was a terrific product of Saleh? Like, do you leave any room that if Sherwood goes to a different team, it may be a Huff experience where it's like, woof, that didn't look good. That contract's not good. Is there any chance in your mind that and again, we all say Saleh was a really good DC. Like, is there any part of you that thinks that Sherwood was a product of our defensive intelligence from the staff?
I don't think so, Buckeye, because Huff played a lot less snaps and he was like a pass rusher. Sherwood was on the field a lot.
Sherwood was an every down
Yeah, so
linebacker. True. That's a good point. Yeah.
and to throw this out there for June, listen, if the Jets don't even make an offer or whatever, like obviously they don't fit that he's not going to fit their scheme of what they want to run. And you know what? That's going to suck because I'll throw out the name and June, you remember him that when the new staff came in, he didn't fit what we wanted to do and that was James Farrier, right?
Yes, I do. Picture
No,
his
I know you
face.
can remember him, right? Remember
Yes.
James Farrier? He wasn't what the Jets wanted to do defensively, and he went to Pittsburgh and fucking balled out for how many years? He was our
Yes.
first round pick. Fucking new staff comes in. This isn't what we fucking run, and he goes to Pittsburgh and he fucking balls out for 10 years. So
Well, that was Parcells's.
yeah,
To be fair, that
no,
was
I know,
But
but if that
how about the other guy, Jim Hugh
John
Douglas? He
Abraham.
didn't
How
fit
about John
Jets.
Abraham?
well, no, John Abraham
Well,
was very productive with the Jets. He did the same thing
Right. So
with
be
the
worried
Falcons
about
that he did with
losing
the
a guy
Abraham
like
Jets.
was
that.
different though.
But my
But
point is, listen,
Buckeye,
if
they still got a first round pick for
Yeah, it
Abraham,
wasn't enough.
and they wound up
but
drafting Nick. Right, but they wound up drafting Nick Mangold. So
Farrier
the Jets
Farrier was a guy
actually,
that the new staff came in. He didn't fit what they wanted to do, and they let him go. They went to the Steelers, and he balled out. Like I listen, if he's not what this staff needs at linebacker, I get it. Then you let him go, but don't be surprised if he's very good on his next team. And I get it. I get it if it's not what they run, but it's gonna suck because it's gonna be James Farrier all over again. But
I
you
get it.
know,
Snoogans, let me get Snoogans back, and then I want to get Bobby Thompson, who's in here.
Yo.
Snoogs, you got.
Yeah, no.
Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to say about the Huff thing because I don't want it to because it kind of fits in what we're talking about because you don't want to get in the position of you are overpaying guys to stay just because of the name and what they've done, right? So with the Hufunga thing, guys, if these three things weren't really checked off, we probably would be fighting a little bit more to keep him. But they have a replacement in house. They are a tad concerned with his injuries the last couple of years. I mean, he came back from an ACL, and I think within 6 snaps he broke his wrist after he came back from the ACL. And then and his coverage grade has always just been okay, right? So if we're kind of looking to change up things a little bit in the back end of that safety room and kind of go different direction, that's why I don't want to make it seem like he's not good, because it goes back to what you guys were talking about. You don't want to just keep around guys just because of what they've done, and overspend to keep them. So whoever gets him will get a good player, but that's just a little more context of why we're not just like letting him go because we're just like, hey, peace out, Ufunga. So yeah, that's all.
But Snoogs, real quick, and then Bob,
Yeah.
you can jump in. To be fair, though, San Francisco loses a lot of players too because they can't keep everybody neither. They can't. They can't pay everybody. So it's not
for
just because
sure.
I get it. I get it. I get it. You have the replacement, Snoogs, but you would like to keep Fuanga if you could. But I don't think they can
Petey,
pay
they
him.
lost DeForest Buckner. They've never replaced DeForest
Pete,
Buckner. They've
I'm
never
gonna
replaced him.
and obviously this is just me as the fan talking, because you might talk to a different Niner fan. Listen, I would like to keep Ufunga, but I got to be honest with you, Petey. The only player right now that I'm quote unquote as a fan upset that we're probably going to lose is Dre Greenlaw. And everybody else, I'm not really blinking an eye at. But I understand what you're saying.
Hey, Petey, they had a tough decision.
Okay.
They had to trade DeForest Buckner. They've never replaced that man. Never. They've been searching and
But they
searching
got a
to replace
first-round
DeForest
pick
Buckner.
for him.
Yeah, it was Kinlaw.
Technically, it helped us get Brandon Ayuk.
I mean, so they turned it into an asset.
Javon Kinlaw.
And like I said, and doing that move technically helped us get Ayuk.
But this goes to then your point, Buckeye, where we can't keep everybody, and then this is where I can't argue with you with the trade aspect.
Petey, all I'm saying is organizations have tough decisions, and they let one of their best players go. You talk about letting, like DeForest Buckner was a major piece they let go. And I'm telling you, organizations are faced with these decisions all the time, and these are tough. Some of them work, some of them don't. That's my point of bringing that up. But they have never replaced DeForest Buckner. It was the wrong move.
Pete, can I say something quick just before Bob?
He's been balling for the Colts.
Look, I think we have a listening problem. Just to whatever. Me and Mark is back. Look, so if you listen to what Snugan said, if you listen to what he said, it's about having a pipeline. You notice these guys that want to get Sherwood off the roster, they're not talking about how you fix or replace the production. The Jets don't have a pipeline. In fact, we're like a year removed from fans saying this is one of the worst linebacking cores in football. That CJ Mosley can't cover. He's getting long on the tooth. And the rest of it, yet they want to get rid of a young guy. And again, just for Sherwood, again, I want to, because again, there are fans in here that are not Jet fans. So here's the history on Sherwood. They drafted him in the 5th round for apparently Joe Douglas can't hit in the 5th. Well, okay. They drafted Sherwood in the 5th round of 2021. In his rookie year, he got an Achilles. Okay, so he was out all of 2021. He's a converted safety. Okay, in 2022, he played on 17 games, but largely special teams. Because, of course, you have Mosley's in there. In 2023, you started seeing him more. And then this last year, 2024, with significant playing time, he started 16 games and leads the team in tackles. It's solo tackles. One of the highest solo tackle rates in the league at that position. So, I mean, look,
Mark, how are our linebackers stopping the run? How are we stopping the run?
Hold on, you're not bringing up the missed tackle rate.
Oh my God, that is the full story. That is not the narrative.
We're not saying get rid of him, Mark. We're saying don't overpay for him. He's not an overpaid a guy that you overpaid.
Thank you.
Okay. I didn't realize that bringing back Sherwood would cause this much.
Petey, it's not even about Sherwood. It's about everyone, bro. It's about like why I want to see Brees. I want to see Sherwood. I want to see Garrett. I want to see Sauce. I want to see Quick. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, but Mark does bring up a valid
Yeah, he never
point,
talks
though.
about stopping the run, does he?
All right, but who are you replacing Sherwood with? What, a guy in free agency? Oh, some guy that gets
you draft, bro. He was a project creation.
See, you guys stumbled into this one too, and now I got to talk about it.
No, I didn't. Please address the run. Please address the run, Mark.
I'm about to, if you won't interrupt.
Easy. Hold on.
Did the
It's easy.
Jets front four with the loss of JFM and the loss of Jermaine Johnson for the year? Well, listen, if you don't want the context, use earmuffs because I'm
Yeah, but
talking
then
about
you
it.
It's
draft
not
and you
context,
sign
Mark.
for
It's fluff.
All right,
instead of
we're gonna
overpaying for Sherwood.
substitute having a valid argument for interrupting. Is that what we're doing this morning? I'm just saying the front four did not do well against the run, and if you watch and understand any kind of football, that's a lot. Listen, if you got linebackers ducking for cover because you got offensive linemen hitting the second level at will, it makes it so much harder as a linebacker to stop the run. And you're putting the
You're
Jets'
absolutely right.
woes and stopping the run only on Jeremy and Sherwood. That is, I'm sorry, that argument doesn't hold any water with me.
Use the money
Mark,
to get
you're
a
at Mark.
D
Hold on, y'all.
tackle. You need another D
Mark.
tackle for Quinnen. So don't overpay
Absolutely
for
right.
Sherwood.
Absolutely right.
I would have
Here's the thing.
prioritized the D tackle position.
Mark.
Yes, but you could
It's
draft
easier to
that
draft
guy.
a
Hold on, guys.
linebacker, Petey.
Okay.
Hold on, guys. What
Go
it
ahead,
is? What
Curtis, and then I want to get Bobby in
the
here.
problem is? Y'all keep getting Mark is absolutely right, and Mark is a man that studies tape like myself. The problem is y'all think we're still a 3-4. The linebackers are not in the 4-3. The linebackers are not the main cause of run stopping. If it was a 3-4, then it's the opposite. Yes, the middle linebackers are the run stoppers in a 3-4. In a 4-3, that D tackles. Those are the penetrators that help stop the run. So Mark is absolutely right on that one. Thank you, Mark, for putting that point out. I've been wanting to say that for weeks.
It's worth noting too, in
All right,
Wilk's scheme, he's
Bob.
got four down. Like that's anyway. Sorry, go ahead, Bobby. Good morning.
Bob, let me ask you. Good morning.
What's up, dude?
Have you heard any? Good. Have you heard any rumblings about Sherwood to your beloved Pats?
I know that Sherwood is somebody Vrabel would love to have. So I do think, and obviously, uh, everyone in here is very well aware that the Patriots have nearly $30+ million more than anybody, the next highest, which is the Raiders. So they will be aggressive. And Sherwood is a guy who I think last year really made a name for himself. I think he's talented, and I think he's somebody Vrabel would love to have on the team. So I do think the Patriots will aggressively pursue him.
All right. And so, what do you see him getting?
You know what? That's.
Do you see? Well, first of all, do you think he's going to go back to the Jets?
I think he's going to give them a chance to match. I do. But I do think the Patriots might blow him away with an offer. I don't think they're going to give him anything outlandish like $17 or $18 million a year. But I do think that he will go back to the Jets and let them match to see if they will. But I do think New England's just going to outbid everybody they want.
You can have
because they can.
Addition by subtraction.
I just don't understand how. All right, I'm getting frustrated.
Petey, no, don't
too.
get frustrated. What you have to realize, and
no, because
hear me out. What it is
this
is like, and I hate to say this, anybody here's been divorced once or twice. This is exactly what this is. Now you're dealing with the aftermath of divorce. You got to move on with life without that person being there, and
Facts. Facts.
it's a fact that he may not fit. He's very light,
He's
and if
very
we do
light.
keep
That's
him,
what undersized.
if we do keep him, we're gonna move him from inside to outside. So we'll see how that goes, man. I mean, I like Sherwood. Don't get me wrong.
What?
Just like I love Vilma. I love Vilma. I love Demario Davis. But we didn't keep people because it wasn't in the scheme. That
It
doesn't
wasn't
mean
it.
the Jets are idiots.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean they're
Kurt.
idiots.
Can I throw this out
I'm
there
so glad
then?
you said that shit, Kurt. I'm so glad you said that shit.
Can I throw this out there then? Is there anything wrong with having a linebacking core that's Barnes in the middle and Sherwood and Quincy?
Oh,
And
that's
having
what I
those
want.
three guys be your linebacking
That's
core?
what I want. That's what I would love to have. But
As long as you
my
don't
thing
overpay
is,
for them.
here's my problem though, man. Look, man, it's 4 or 5 days before the quote unquote the market hits. This has been open for 2 weeks already. That's the problem. If Woody stopped everything, that's how he. I don't think someone's gonna stay. You gonna wait all the way to now to fucking deal
Hey,
with me?
Curtis,
No,
you're
I'm
covering
out.
your mic.
Yeah, we
Oh,
can't. There you go.
sorry.
There we go.
Hanging
You're
off
good.
the plane. Sorry. But like I was saying, the thing is, we waited too long, man. We waited too long. This ain't no last second deal. He's gone, man.
I
That's
kept
a
saying
good
that.
point. There's the
That's
point.
what I said.
That's why when PD says, why can't we just watch this guy one more year and tag him and fifth year him and like you're creating a
But that
trap for
You
yourself.
would tag Sherwood?
okay, but Buck,
Oh, okay.
no, he's talking about Brees and all these other guys. See, I'm stumbling here because I want to throw shots back at you and Buckeye because you guys have been relentless with
Hey,
this.
Yeah, but
Like,
June,
like
what's overpaying
Go
though?
there's
ahead,
no
Petey.
Bender
Do what you
gift.
gotta do.
Well, well, yeah, but I want to get Bob in this.
go
Bob,
with
I'm not
that.
trying to. Bob, who do you think? What are some players that you think the Jets are going to go after? I think the Jets are going to splurge,
I
not
I
big
will
time
tell
like
I
other
will
teams, but they do
I
have
will. They
money.
have 39 as of Spot Track. They have around almost $40 million to spend. So, a name I heard for the Jets to keep an eye on offense is Josh Palmer, the wide receiver from the Chargers.
You getting excited, Petey?
No.
No.
And don't fucking say Tim Patrick, June.
Oh, look, I
Well,
don't
well,
want
that's
either
the name I
one.
heard too. Why would you
No,
get mad about Tim Patrick?
I don't want Tim Patrick.
See what I'm saying, Bob?
I'm
See what I'm saying? Like,
100%
you
on
can't
Team
fucking please these
Buckeye and
guys.
Team June.
Well, I have a receiver that I said I would want, and he'll probably come like at probably $5 million a year. I want the kid Zacchaeus from the Commanders. I'd rather have him over Patrick or Palmer. And then if you go draft one,
Hang on, Josh.
you go draft one. That's cool. But if I want my guy that I want, I would like Zacchaeus here. He's 28. He'll probably
Yeah.
be $4 or $5 million a year. I think he was making like 1.5. And you give him a 2-year deal or 3 years if you have to. But I don't want Tim Patrick. I don't want Josh Palmer.
Well, but what about this? And yeah, I know Buckeye and June are going to go nuts about this one, but I don't give a crap. And Bob, but like a Keenan, you bring somebody like a
Oh my
Keenan
God,
Allen in
man.
Oh
here
my
No,
fucking
for
Pete,
what?
goodness,
one
yo!
year.
Petey,
Why? Why
Petey,
not?
Remember
we
we
Injury
are
did that one
prone
selecting
time?
at
top
the
five,
end of
and you're
this
bringing
year.
in a Grizzly veteran that probably has aspirations to be a part of something special. What
Okay,
is the
so
purpose of that?
okay, but
Jamal
what if he
Adams
has
all
no?
over
What if
again.
he has no?
Yeah.
How is that Jamal Adams? He's never
But
been
we
on the
did that
team,
when we
Tom.
took Thomas from Denver years ago when we had no
Yo,
wide receivers, and that's exactly what we did, and that was a disaster.
didn't we just do that with Mike
Okay,
Williams last year?
Mike Williams is a little bit different. He was coming off an
Well,
injury.
Kenyon Allen,
I know
he's
Allen.
always injured.
Yes, okay, but he didn't have a season-ending injury. I'm just saying somebody like that because I think Christian Kirk is still going to get
Yeah, but
over
what
10,
is Keenan
million a
Allen got to
year.
be like 34, 35,
I
no?
just told him he's the old. He
All
got to
right,
be that age.
No, I don't
yes,
want
but
that.
he.
Why would
So
you
I
June,
say?
Exactly.
you don't hate
all
my
right. I'm
Zacchaeus
just
guy?
saying.
No.
So
I
Bob,
can't
what
comment on him because I don't know nothing about him.
what'd
So
you
that's
say,
why
Petey?
I won't.
all right. So let me Shade. I'll get you up in a minute. Tom, jump in after this. But what do you see the Jets signing like out of that free agent group? Veteran wise, because I do think they'll add another veteran. I do. Besides, if they get a Tim Patrick or a Palmer, they need help. They need bodies. Go ahead.
So Petey? Let me ask you this: who do you want the Jets to sign?
Kenyon Allen. He just said Kenyon Allen.
No, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'm just saying there's a guy like that. Christian Kirk to me is too much. They're going to have to go a guy that gets cut. I don't know who it is yet. Who else got
Can I say
released?
something on this and comment? Thank you.
Yeah, get Josh up here
Yeah,
too. I'm
Bobby, for
driving.
me, I think it's Barnes. I would get Barnes in here first, and then I get Tim Patrick. I know Jim doesn't want to hear it, but and I was looking up stats on Zacchaeus, and I mean they need bodies for sure, but he's 5'8" and he runs a 4.49. So the Jets do need a burner, like an over the top guy. I don't know who that is, but I don't know if that's him. If he were faster, then I'd be more on board because they need a burner on the
Mark,
outside.
Yeah.
Mark, the 5'8" guy is shifty, low down, gritty, and grind. All
Yeah.
right, you can get.
I would take Josh Palmer first. He's younger.
Yeah.
I would draft a wide receiver. How
Yes.
about that?
I'm
Absolutely.
with
How about
that.
Absolutely.
that? Like let's
Absolutely.
fill some holes on
Absolutely.
this team through a draft, shall
Thank
we?
you. Thank you. Give us a deep
Wide
threat. There's
receiver
nobody.
and then a D tackle.
There's
Yeah,
no wide
but
receiver that's unseen as a
Buckeye,
deep
the
threat.
Jets are they're gonna. You want to get a receiver in the draft, a linebacker in the draft. Like they're gonna draft guys, but they only have what do they got? 6 picks in this
8.
draft.
We got 8
Oh,
picks.
we got 8 picks, but we don't have a third round, right?
Well, June's not done trading
Yeah,
yet.
we do.
Don't
Exactly.
We have a
forget,
third round
Jim.
pick.
Jim, don't
What are we
forget,
missing?
they
No,
want to
no, no,
create
no,
an
no.
environment where
We have
all these
we
players
have a
are
third
out of
round pick
here,
from
and
Detroit.
that's the poison pill right there. So they don't care about actually getting any kind of quality players to play on. They're playing a super long game. I think the Jets will be competitive in 2036 based off
No,
Yeah.
the
no,
3-4
no,
plan.
Wait,
you know
so
what it is?
the Jets have the third round pick from Adams or Reddick. They have all their top picks,
We have a third round pick from Detroit.
and we have a second.
Yeah,
So
but
we have
next
our picks in every round.
we have every pick except the third, and we don't have a third next year, guys. There's three
I mean,
requests. I got to
they're gonna
We
approve
have a
those
draft.
third
people.
rounder
The,
this year, don't we?
Yeah, we do. I thought the Detroit, right?
Yes,
all
Yeah.
right, so they will draft
four
these
now.
guys, but you can only some are depth. Like
Mm-hmm.
your top 3 picks should contribute to your
Starters.
goddamn
Let me.
football
Should be
Can I
team,
starters,
ask you
right?
guys something?
and that's been a problem with the fucking Jets too.
I want to
Yes,
ask you
Bob.
guys
Go
something.
ahead.
Are you all afraid that New England's just going to load up and spend all that cash?
No, I
Not
don't want you
me.
to. I
No,
want that. I want
no.
you guys in this free agency pool to let that money rip.
I'm with Buckeye.
Vince, hold on. Lawrence, hold on. Go ahead. Tom, go ahead, because I got
Hey,
to
Devontae, please.
Tom, you're
No.
always patient.
Hey guys,
Tom, thank you.
I've been sitting back listening patiently to your guys' argument, and I want to tell you right now, I agree with everything Mark said about Sherwood. 100%, Mark, you're right. And I have a question about. I hate to take you away from the Jets for a second, because I respect your opinion, and I want somebody outside the Bills fans to answer me this. Do you think DK Metcalf or Christian Kirk would make more sense to go to the Bills than us going after a defensive player? And that's the only question outside the Jets I have to ask. I just want to get your guys' opinion.
Tom, that's fine. You're always welcome in here.
Wait,
You don't even
you,
have to.
you
You're
said
good.
Metcalf, and who's the other guy?
Christian
Kirk.
Kirk.
Christian Kirk.
Metcalf 1,000%. If I'm a Buffalo fan and you get Metcalf in, I think there's
Oh my
another level
God,
of
that'd be
Metcalf.
crazy.
Yeah, I
That's
think there's
crazy.
another level of Metcalf
Yeah.
that and he's
Yeah,
he's a monster.
yeah,
I mean, 50
yes.
But do you think that? Do
he's
you
a
think
better
we should,
route runner than you think.
Mark? Do you think we
He's
focus
really
on that
good.
before defense? Or
I think I would yes, because this is where you let McDermott prove out what he can do. And I think you give Allen more.
Mark,
I think if anything, the problem for Allen is he give him more. Why not? You have a
I want to
Mark,
join
franchise
Jarek on
quarterback,
this
wait,
one.
one of the best in the league.
Mark,
Yeah,
if so, the Seahawks want a first and a third round pick for DK Metcalf. Of course, that's their highest point. It's negotiation. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm the only Bills fan that feels this. I'm not
So
trading any more than a second
you got
round
check
than a second or a third round pick
I'm
for
not
him.
giving up a
putting
first for
$38
And
him.
because the money that
Definitely not
Nick
giving
and
up
if
a
the
they
other
first.
don't
day we
want
were going
that,
to pay
then
with the
fuck
guy
off.
cash, but then he wanted a check.
I don't want
well,
It's
that. Sorry.
3,800 in
well,
the
yeah.
safe, and I'm going to put money back in the checking account.
Hey, the safe we're talking about,
Jarek, I
huh?
didn't understand Rossini's report of teams are willing to give up a third round. Like, if that's all that guy's worth is a third
Yeah,
rounder,
that's exactly what I'm giving. Like
yeah,
I don't mind giving up.
Well, the
I don't
Bills
mind
Jets
have
giving
fans
that.
really
the
better
Bills have two.
recalibrate on what our players are
No
worth
way
if
in
DK's
hell
No,
am
worth
I
a
giving
third
up a
well,
rounder.
first and a third.
well,
No way.
wait. Don't the Bills have 2 second
We
round picks
do,
this year?
but we need, but again, we're
Yeah.
not losing
Listen,
because of offense. We're losing because of our defense. That's what we need to rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
because again, we're in the trenches and we're running a nickel and we primarily run a nickel defense that doesn't have a one tech. So that's why when we can't get any pressure on the quarterback and when and Ed Oliver's getting the majority of the double teams and our edge rushers for the most part, which are doing their assignments, which is forcing the pocket, which is forcing the quarterback to step up in the pocket, and there's no one to meet him in the space like Patrick Mahomes. Why do you think they score 30 every time they play us?
See, Jarek talks football.
Like
and
our
honestly,
defense.
like if I'm the Bills, like they have 2 second round picks. Maybe this is the year you move up in the draft and you go get your defensive guy. That's what I like. I agree. Fuck DJ Metcalf. Listen, all these teams who trade these receivers get better. Tyreek Hill left, they won the Super Bowl. Okay, the Bills traded Diggs, they were better. So I'm not like the Bills did this already. They're not going to go back and take the pick they traded for Diggs and give it for Metcalf. They're not doing that. I wouldn't do it. I totally agree. Stack the defense. Allen's a monster. Bring Cook back. You still have two great tight ends, plenty of offense on that team. And I mean, for all the Jet fans who obviously want to take every piece of candy that falls on the street, the Jets are not trading for DJ
Not
Metcalf.
me.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
And
Tom.
and we're
absurd.
not and we're not drafting Jackson Dart at 7
Now,
because you're still never gonna know if that's a
Yo, I'm
franchise
here.
guy going into the 2026
ask
Who
draft.
do
the
you
same
want to
question
take,
about
Alex?
Miles
I
Garrett for
agree.
the Bills. Ask that Miles
Well,
Garrett question for the
I will say
Bills.
this: Garrett is a different story because he's basically a Hall of Fame player. The problem there is he's basically untradeable because of the contract, basically on both sides. Now, yes, that would be like Reggie White going to the Packers, and he got them over the top. I think Garrett is the player that they do need,
Yep.
but the
I,
Bills fan
I,
I'm all
comment
in
on
on
this.
Garrett.
Yep. Jarek, what's your offer on Garrett? You all in on that? You giving up first round for that?
Oh, for Garrett Wilson, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll give a
No,
first round for Garrett
wait,
Wilson because
Miles Garrett.
Garrett
Miles
Wilson,
Garrett.
Miles Garrett.
Miles Garrett.
because
All right, hold on. Garrett Wilson is not getting traded to the fucking Bills. I'm trolling here. He's not. Let's just put that right
What?
out
Gene
there.
thinks he's a 2.
Okay?
Let him go to Buffalo.
Yeah,
That's
he's not going to the Bills.
Alex,
Lil,
who
I'll
would you
get you up
take with
here
the
in a
number
while.
one pick if you're big on
Well, for me,
offensive
if I'm the
line? Yeah.
Jets,
Yep.
if I'm the Jets, you stay at 7. You take the best lineman on either side of the ball.
Thank you.
Whoever the highest rated player is, the Jets need. All this talk of, first of all, Morgan Moses is not coming back, and even if he was, it's the same as Tyron Smith last year. He basically sabotaged our season. I love Morgan Moses. We respect that man. It's over for him. Go draft the right tackle at 7 and go
Membo.
maul people. And then go into 2026 with an unbelievable core of Olu Simpson, Titman, ABT, and Mambu, if that's who they think the guy is. I mean, give me a break. Okay?
Carlos is teaching you the Membu.
Membu, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the Jets need a right tackle, 2 defensive tackles, an edge.
Wait,
Yeah.
Alex, would you sign ABT to a long
Yes.
term deal?
Absolutely. Yes.
You would.
Not even a thought. Yes.
So would
Next.
I.
Absolutely.
yeah, he's
You
he's
know,
he's one of the more valuable players on your team.
no doubt.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
just
even with
keep
that.
him at
Sorry.
guard. Draft the right tackle, keep him at guard. And look, I'll go one up. Let's say there's a skill player that they love. Let's say there's a guy who's the receiver that just ran a 4.3, that he's probably not going to go top 10. Maybe there's a
Bolden.
team, because there's good depth at tackle on both sides of the ball in this draft. So let's say the Jets say we want this skill guy and he's going to be there at pick 15. Then go pick up an extra second and third round pick, go draft the receiver at 15 and go stack my lines in the second and third round. So look, I still think you build the line at pick 7, but if they have good coaching and good scouting, move down, which is always a nice thing to do. I'm absolutely, positively, and unequivocally not taking Ted McMillan or Warren at pick 7. It's another retarded pick. Sorry for using that word. It's a stupid pick. Stop it. The Jets need so much. They need so much. So stop with this garbage. And look, I'm sure they're good players, but you're not taking a tight end at 7. Benny's laughing, but he knows I'm right. He knows I'm right. It's the way to win.
Yeah, but Alex, I think the I'll get you guys up. It's on delay, so they hear like 30 seconds
Oh, 30
beforehand.
seconds? Oh, Benny's clapping
Yeah,
now.
it's on
No, I'm saying, like,
it's on
I'm
delay.
sorry. Listen, Benny, I love you.
It's all right.
in other words,
Look,
what you said 30 seconds ago was hilarious. But keep
I
going,
get it
Alex.
now. But what I'm saying is, listen, what I'm
Been a
saying
lot longer
is
than 30
the,
seconds.
the Jets need a lot. So if they are looking at the draft and I like that wide receiver from Texas. I even like the guy from Missouri, but I'm not taking Ted at 7. It's a wasted pick. Move down. I think the other receivers are better than him and would fit better. Okay, I don't need a boundary receiver with pick 7. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Move down and use the second and third round extra picks. Could you imagine if the Jets get a nice speed receiver at pick 15? Okay. They get a nice tackle, at pick 40, and you get and a nice defensive tackle at pick 42. Now with good coaching, you're building something. So that's how I feel. Don't waste. And the truth is, it goes from my thought process as well. I don't think I would just waste a pick on a lineman at pick 7. I think a similar type player is there a little bit further down. So go get me a sneaky good skill player. And I'll tell you what, I'm definitely not against drafting that fucking running back from Boise State or one of those other studs that you can get in the second round. So I think
So then, what are you doing with Brees? And then I want to move on to the
That's a
Ham.
that's a
whatever,
perfect
bro.
world though. Trading back to 15 and getting another
A great
2 and a
skill.
3.
Yes,
Yeah, but
dude,
that you
I'm
know how
telling
hard
you.
it is to find a trade partner to like.
That's
It's
a
But you know
great
fact.
to
what?
say
In
that.
this
That's a
draft,
fact.
I think it's doable because there's still very
I
good
know. No,
players at 7 that are kind of franchise guys. Okay, Graham, one of the other defensive tackles, some of those edges, they're testing off the board. Look, and they have good tape.
But Alex
So,
Ashton Genty's going top 15. That's where he's going.
but what I'm saying is good.
Definitely.
Trade to 12. I would take
So
Genty.
so
I
you
think
don't want Tat, but you want the running back?
to move back, move back, move back. And I don't care about Hall, and I love him. But if they feel they're not going to re-sign him, get me the running back this year. Dude, you see what Saquon Barkley did for that team. You see what these running backs are doing. We need to score fucking points, but I'm not drafting that player at 7.
Yeah, but the
I'm
Jets got
moving
good running
back.
backs though. Why do we need another running back?
Hold on. No, they don't. They have
Yes, they
2
do.
rookies. Hold on. We have unproven 2 fourth-round picks from the last regime, and we have Hall, who is very good, and I love him. But I don't know if I'm paying Hall after this year.
Hmm.
Oh,
So,
oh, I
Hall.
know.
Yeah, but you just
I
said
know you're
Hall is
not.
very good.
I'm not.
Isaiah Davis looked very good.
no, he did not.
Yes, he
No, he
Yeah,
did.
he
didn't.
did. Yeah, he
No, he
did.
didn't. He looked okay. He looked
He looked
okay.
better than okay.
He
And
looked better.
I
Braylon
don't know.
Hey,
Allen,
hey, hey,
after the first
hey,
okay,
year,
Alex,
Let
I
but all
listen.
disagree
right,
with that.
these guys. All right, Alex. Wait.
Go.
These guys are not starting running backs yet. I'm
Exactly. So
sorry.
what I'm saying
They're
is
not Brees
we have
Hall,
so
and
many
I'm not
holes to
saying Brees
fill.
is an All
Look
Pro.
at me. We
we
have
have
so
so
many
many holes
holes
to
to
fill, but you
fill.
want to get a running
And,
back.
but listen, I'm paying. Just listen. I'm paying Sawson and Wilson. I'm paying both of them. I'm not paying Brees. That's what I would do. I would move down in the draft and I would take the best skill guy that you want at 15 and then stack my lines in the second and third rounds.
So what if
I
it's
don't
That's what I
understand
do.
your
what if it's a
logic
what if
though.
it's a
Of if
Buka
Why?
there?
Because you got it.
What if
we
Listen,
it's a
we
you're
have
gonna
Buka
have
there?
to
we
pay
have
Holy
Brees,
Brees,
shit!
What
we
if
have
it's a
Brees
Buka
for
there?
this year,
Today.
Rich, and
and
then he's free, and then he's free.
I get it, but let's worry about next year running back next year. You can get running
Or,
backs anywhere.
or look at me, or be a step ahead and get the running
No, but
back
yeah, but
this
if
year.
if
But
the
Alex, we
Jets
don't
since the
have a
you said the
second. We don't
Jets
have a
have so
wide
many
receiver
holes,
too.
We don't have a wide receiver too. We
why are
don't
we
have
getting
Look at
another
me. I'll
running
give you a
back if we
better
have so
one.
many holes?
Here's another
Yeah,
thought.
yeah,
Doesn't make
Alex.
sense.
Maybe listen.
All
Maybe
right.
they hold
After
on.
this, we gotta
Maybe they
get to
get to
him.
Benny. Maybe they trade Brees for a third round pick and a fourth. So there's many different ways to slice this up. Don't and I love Brees, but we can't be attached to it. We have to be attached
Wait,
to
But
now
it.
you're
you're finding a trade partner
overvaluing
for
him.
Brees
He's
at oh man. All right, good.
Even if
Yes.
the Jets
Yeah,
trade
I
Brees,
agree with
I'm not
that.
worried about running back. I'm
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
with I'm good with
Can
Right.
somebody get Curtis
Davis,
and Tom up here? I'm
Allen,
Listen,
and
sorry.
guys,
whatever you do else.
we have a totally new offensive coaching staff in the building. So maybe they don't look at Brees the way the last guys did. You
Facts.
understand? Maybe they're
Facts.
looking at
Hang
Yeah.
on, Kurt.
anyway. Those are my thoughts, and I see the
All right.
pushback on Brees. I get it, but this running back class is fucking
Yes.
stacked.
Yes. I agree
It's
with you on that.
stacked.
On that point, I agree
So
with you.
anyway, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Benny. Go for it.
Alex, good to hear from you. Wait, hold on. Vince and Vez have been waiting a while too. But Vince and Vezo, go ahead, and then
Hey, good
Benny.
morning, guys. So, I
What's up,
just want to
Vince?
touch on two quick things. So, when it comes to the running back position, yes, it's true. This running back class does have a good. It is good, but I think people get really overconfident when it comes to after Saquon season last year about what a running back can do. Let's not forget something. The Philadelphia Eagles. I think Jarek said it earlier. Is that the running back is usually the last piece. The Philadelphia Eagles had the
Yep.
best offensive line in football, but probably 2 to 3 years running. I mean, it's very similar to when when Ezekiel Elliott was drafted in the first round and had a monster rookie season. And he looked like the next Emmitt Smith. It was also because the Dallas Cowboys had the best line in all of football. So sitting here saying, "Oh, we should just draft a running back because he's very, very good," is all well and good. Then you realize how bad the Jets' defense, the offensive line was last year in run protection. I mean, they were good in pass pro, but they were absolutely dog shit in run protection. So sitting here basically just saying that we're just going to basically insert the best college running back into our offense and he's going to be a stud and change the offense is really not thinking about it more than just one track mind. So we're not drafting a running back at 7 behind this line, in my opinion. If we had a better line, maybe so. Second part of it is that I want to jump in on the wide receiver conversation, is that I don't really know where people think the ball is going to go outside of Garrett Wilson. We get rid of Devontae Adams, get rid of Allen Lazard. There's pretty much nobody to throw the ball to, and I think people need to actually understand
Correct.
that when you need different type of players to throw the ball to. You need a speedster, you need a route runner, but you also need a guy that's going to go up there, make those 50-50 balls, be the target in the red zone, be a tough catch. And what the Jets don't have is somebody like that. Garrett Wilson is currently our tallest wide receiver right now, and he's 6 feet tall. Okay, and that's a big, big problem when you don't have any wide receiver that can go up there, make 50-50 catches, be strong with the ball, get that 3rd and 4 when you're at the sticks and basically have that that option. The Jets don't have that. So we're to sit here and basically say we're not going after somebody like Keenan Allen, who's a 6'2", 50-50 guy last year. Okay, he started 15 games. He played in 15 games. You're talking about Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick missed 2 out of the last 3 years with injuries. He tore his Achilles and he tore his ACL. Last year, he only started 9 games. So if you want to compare the two and you're going Keenan Allen versus Tim Patrick, I really don't know how that's a big comparison. There's also guys that people kept saying Zacchaeus from Washington. Yeah, they're all very good players. Hollywood Brown's a good player, etc. But again, they're not the type of guys that are going to go up there and make their 50-50 catches. To basically sit there and say that you're not going to draft Terracon McMillan at number 7 because he's a one-dimensional. He's a 6'5", 220-pound wide receiver that's an exceptional route runner and can go up there and catch balls. And again, I say this, who else is going to do that? There's nobody on this Jets roster that can go up there and catch a contested ball. Tyler Conklin's 6'3", and he's our tallest, non-wide receiver. So to just basically
And he's not on the
You
team.
All right,
take
those are
Exactly.
all
you
those are all
take
Exactly,
good
the
points,
Vince.
by the way.
lineman. You
Can
don't
I
take
can
the
I
wide
counter that for
Exactly,
receiver.
1
Vince.
second?
You
Exactly,
take the
Vince.
lineman.
Can I counter that for 1 second? All good points. I will always go back to this example. And I know there's no alt in this draft, but there's also no Bowers or Neighbors. Harbaugh, with no skilled players on that roster, none. He took Alt, who's a left tackle, never played a snap at right tackle, and made him the right tackle. So I don't care about wide receiver too. I care
What?
more about stacking those lines.
Yep.
No doubt about it. So Ted McMillan is useless if Carter Warren and Mitchell are the guys. And again, I'm not saying Ted's going to be a bad player, but to pick him at 7 and have Carter Warren at right tackle and no defensive tackles on defense or no middle linebacker. I mean, Sherwood's not even back. I think it's a wasted piece. So
Alex.
that's why my example was move down the draft board. Look, one of the best coaches in football history, Harbaugh, is unbelievable. He passed on all the toys and he said, "Let me solidify my team." So again, I'd like to have Tet, but not at the expense of no right tackle, no tight end, no defensive tackles, no
But
anything.
Alex, I think your point was
Yeah,
Alex.
valid until you moved down and picked a running back, the only position we
Right.
have depth in. That's
I'm
the
just what I'm
only.
saying is
What?
I'm saying mix and match however you want.
Uh,
Move down and take a receiver, but you need extra throws at the board to stack the lines. You can't take a receiver at 7 and have no right tackle. You're still missing an edge. Bro, we have no edge players.
Alex.
McDonald
I,
is
I
good.
I
He
think
can't
find
stop the run.
I think finding a trade
Alex.
partner to move down right now in this
It's hard.
draft is going
It's
to
hard.
be
yeah.
insanely hard.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be.
know.
Exactly.
I
Like
don't
But
we got to
agree.
take that scenario out.
but you know what? You know what?
I can't. I
To
can't
Vince's
believe
point,
this.
he's absolutely fucking right. As of right now, because you're currently constructing on the scene, we have no red zone threat. None.
Who?
You have
What
to
I'm
get
saying
there.
is,
I mean,
who
you
gives a shit? The red
who
zone
great,
does
threat
this
doesn't
shit?
mean
a
anything
great
if the
offensive
right
Who
line
gives
makes a
a
tackle
future
yeah?
is
I
quarterback
ain't
blowing
never
up
better.
heard
your
that shit
This is
before.
team.
Damn,
fucking
who gives a
insane.
shit?
Yeah,
That's
but guys, you
crazy.
gotta. But again, you
But
gotta understand
Alex,
something.
Alex,
Did Alden's hold on? Did Tyron Smith sabotage our season last year?
Yep.
Absolutely, he
He
did.
was one of 10.
You guys hear me?
Sabotage.
Yes,
No,
it
but
wasn't
he
just
was
him.
really, dude. He almost got us killed. Anyway, I'm sorry. Benny wants to speak. I
Yeah,
keep. I'm
real
gonna shut the
quick,
fuck up.
real quick. I cannot believe I looked at the clock. It's 9:44, and this shit is wilding today. Like, you guys have been awesome. This is a good conversation here. Vezo, go, and then Benny.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
What's up?
I was
Fez,
just
what
gonna,
up?
yo, what's going on? I was just gonna say, like I know, so like Alex, you bring up a point earlier that like the teams that usually trade their receiver get better, but if you look at the AJ Brown trade, the exact opposite happened. The Eagles got the piece that they needed, and then the Titans fell off a cliff. So like, there's always like a trade off for each and each example. I just think it's just a team by a case by case basis, in my opinion.
Facts.
And another thing too is like the Eagles, they prioritize getting a wide receiver when they traded for him, for AJ Brown. And then the other thing, this is really earlier on, is just there was a few hands before me. Like, so I know like there's an idea like, hey, they should trade Brees or like they should trade Quinnen. But for every second or third round pick, like, would you trade Brees right now for Jabari Zuniga? Or would you trade Quentin Williams for a Denzel Mims? You wouldn't. And you run that risk when you trade those proven players for these draft picks that you don't know how they're going to pan out. So, like, if you want to run that risk, you can do it. But, like, these aren't old, aging players. You know what I'm saying? So,
Correct.
I would always lean towards keeping the guys that are
Hang
proven
on,
and still
Mars.
young versus having to get rid of them. Because then you also run into the issue, yes, you'll have more cap space later, but then you're going to use that cap space to get, let's just say it's a free agent class like this year. Yeah, do you want to spend extra on older, lesser talented players in the future? Like, not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like, these teams don't let good players walk. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I would just focus on trying to pay the guys in house that are proven, and then work with what draft picks you got. However, you got to move up and down the board, whatever. But I told you guys yesterday, I'm definitely going to lean towards taking the weapon at 7, primarily because you took O-line last year, and you have a second round pick this year. You didn't have that last year. So like, you can still, get a lineman in the second round, where I don't know what the weapons look like necessarily in the second round. So that's just what I would do, because they're outside of Garrett. Like, if Garrett goes down next year for any extended period of time, the offense is cooked. It doesn't matter
Well,
who
Dan,
the
that's what we were
quarterback
Dan,
is.
saying last
It's
year,
done.
Dan.
though. But
The
we said
offense
that.
is cooked anyway. We don't have
Yes,
a
but wait,
MP,
quarterback.
wait,
MP,
wait,
the offense
wait.
was cooked.
Okay. But you also said last year, if Garrett Wilson goes down, who do we have? Alan Lazard and Mike Williams, who's coming off a cert. It's the same thing this year.
It's
You
even
don't
worse.
no no
It's
no no
even
no no
worse,
no
though.
Pete. You,
It's
you don't
even
even have
worse.
it's worse because you don't even have them. It's
Yeah,
fucking
you
And,
don't.
crazy
and
right
we don't
now.
have tight
Right
ends.
now, we don't have them, June. The roster will be constructed a little bit next week. We'll see what we have.
It will.
yeah,
It
Second,
Pete,
will.
third
but you
tier
don't want to
players is
pay
what we're
the
gonna get.
overpaid.
Okay,
All
so
these wide
I'm
receivers
not
are
I'm not
old.
saying we're going to overpay, but if you get rid of a Brees Hall, we have 2 guys right now that could score touchdowns. It's Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson. That's it.
That's
Guys,
it.
Why would
That's
you get
look
literally
rid
what
of
the
it.
Brees
Philadelphia
Hall?
offensive line did for Hurts. We need to
But
get
they
that
also
Yeah,
have
offensive
talent. They
line.
have Devonta Smith. They have AJ Brown. They have the
That
tight
came
end. They
later,
have
Pete.
they have they
Pete,
have
that
Yes.
all
Saquon
came after the
Barkley.
offensive line.
Listen,
That
real quick.
came after the offensive line.
Real quick. With
Yeah,
the
but
offensive line,
listen, there's a
real
lot
quick.
of offensive line players right now that we could pick. It's not like we missing 3 holes on the offensive line. It's only one person we're missing.
Well,
No,
guys,
we're
real quick.
missing more. We
Real
got
quick.
no backups either.
Benny,
Real quick.
jump
With the
And
in.
offensive,
backups, that's what I'm saying. But starters, only one starter we're missing. Am I
the,
correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
4/5 of the line
Do we
is
have a
And
set.
then
quarterback that's going to be good enough to be throwing the ball all
and
over the
then you could
field?
pick up
Or
a
does
right
that?
tackle
Wait,
either
hold
in the
on.
draft.
All right, Hector. I'm tired of this, Hector. With you. Oh, do we have a court? Tyrod Taylor can make throws. Hector, what are you doing? He can make throws. He's a veteran. Hector, I'm tired of it. Please, excuse me.
You guys got 12,000 passing yards in
Hector,
30
you know
years.
I love you. Come off mute. You could rebut. I'm not screaming
4,000.
at you personally. But gosh, Tyrod Taylor can.
That's fucked up, Buckeye.
Tyrod, yeah,
Yeah, I
Buckeye. I'm
mean,
not even commenting.
It was 25 years, Buckeye. It's not fucking
yeah,
30.
exactly.
Don't
Jay,
exaggerate.
I think Jay was still making a point. Someone was making a point still.
I was saying.
Yeah,
I was saying
Coach.
something
that's
really
my
quick.
fault.
No, yeah, you're good.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, so everybody brings up the Eagles. Y'all got to understand something. They didn't just only draft linemen in the first round. Like they're all pro or all Pro Bowl left tackle Mailata, whatever his name is. He was like a seventh round pick. Like you have to be able to get those guys in later rounds and develop them, and that's why that's really the main thing. You know what I'm saying? So like if we don't have that, it's not really gonna matter who we draft in the first or seventh round. Like they need to be able to develop those guys no matter what round or what free agent they were picked up or however it works. Because look at Mekhi Becton, nobody expected that. Now he's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid now. We couldn't do that. It's just unfortunate. So
Yeah. All right, Benny, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up, fellas? Nah, I mean,
What up, Ben?
Vez, you kind of you said it, bro. You said everything I needed to say. But real shit, when you look at our offense, for some reason, like it's hard to believe, our offensive line is our strong suit, right? We're
Yep.
returning 4 out of the 5, and granted, we
Yep.
don't have the depth, whatever, at this point, but I feel like Jet fans are the only fan base that thinks you can only draft the offensive lineman in the top 10. And if he's not in the top
Yep.
10, he's gonna fucking suck. I don't understand that way of thinking. You have to look at this roster as a whole. We weren't a good running team, right? We didn't have those maulers. We were a good good in pass protection and shit. Uh, but when you look at it, like you can find a right tackle, get a veteran right tackle. You get a developmental piece to be your swing tackle, and that's how good teams do it. That's what the Eagles did. The Eagles aren't they draft the best player available every time. They drafted Devontae Smith, and what they went out there and traded for AJ Brown not too long after.
Yep.
So it's not like, oh, they only care about the trenches. They built their team the right way. They get best player available. And yes, if the best player available is trenches, I'm 100% for that. I'm not saying offensive lineman is gonna hurt the team or defensive tackle is gonna hurt the team. We have so many holes. It is gonna help the team. But when you look at it, to say Ted McMillan would be a wasted pick is insanity to me. Ted McMillan is something we don't have. Ted McMillan actually is a really
Thank
good compliment to what Garrett
thank you.
Wilson brings to the table. Ted
Thank you.
McMillan, for his size, runs really solid routes. He could be a little bit more physical at the point of attack, whatever. But Ted McMillan is a really, I don't know, could be a really
Well,
good wide receiver
Benny,
too.
real
And
quick.
June, can I ask you a
Benny,
question?
wait,
real quick though. June, that's the one thing I've been in because June is really frustrated me this morning with this all nobody this that. This is the one thing that I cannot even give pushback to June on. I
Thank you.
wouldn't mind taking McMillan at 7. That's just me though. But I
I
get
got a
other
my
question
last
for
people
part, my
doing
June.
last
their
part, my last part, my last part, my last part. I swear to God. And if you really want to focus, okay, you want to block, you want to do whatever, then to say Tyler Warren, oh, he's a tight end, he's a tight end, bro. Every good team in the fucking NFL has multiple capable tight ends. The New York Jets have Jeremy Ruckert, who is an XFL player, and if he wasn't from Long Island, people would be screaming, pounding, everything to get him off the fucking roster. Tyler Conklin, as much as I like him as a person, a good person, he's a tight end too who runs with Tim's on
Yes.
his fucking feet. So you
Yeah.
need an explosive tight end. And guess what? Tyler Warren, he's not a wasted pick because he goes out there and he puts his fucking helmet down and he blocks too. So he does everything. He can be a dynamic pass catcher in the middle of the
Say it,
field,
Benny.
and he goes out there
Hey,
and is a willing blocker
I
and does
June,
I
everything.
agree
He's
with you
he's
a
average.
hundred
I
percent.
got a
But
question for
again,
June.
Go ahead.
What, as head of Team 34, will you allow me to change Tyrod's Taylor's name to Air Taylor because he throws the ball around?
I like that. I like that.
Air
is
Taylor.
that hold on. Is that your weak rebuttal?
Yes, it is, Petey. Air Taylor.
All
Yo,
right,
I swear, yo,
PD, I
keep
guys,
just
we're coming
Googled
up.
PD, I just Googled Tyrod Taylor's stats and Google said, "Are you sure you want to see this?"
So all right, so that's ask some of the Bills fans how he played the year they made the
What
playoffs.
year
I
was
know it
that,
was
PD?
7 years ago,
That was about 8 years
or
ago.
all right, but still, the guy could still make throws. I don't want
Why
to hear
can't
it.
it be us?
Listen,
The
we're
photo of
not.
him came back in black and white.
Oh
He had a leather
man.
helmet.
Well, Benny, right, man. Like, I mean, yo, you have to look. As much as I sit there and say take care of the trenches, you have nobody in the wide receiver room. You have no red zone threat. If Garrett goes down, the season is over. That's crazy.
Well, the season's over already.
And guess what? And guess what? You if you have a solid offensive line and you continue to build, you develop your guys in day 2, day 3, whatever, and you're like obviously paying these guys nothing, whatever. And your quarterback next year, you don't want him throwing to fucking nobody, bro. We've
Facts.
done it multiple times. So we gave Sam Darnold fucking Jeremy Curse, bro, and Robbie Anderson. We gave Zach Wilson. I think he was gonna fucking suck anyway. But we said, here's Corey Davis, who was a bust, and said, yo, make it fucking happen. I'm
Yep.
tired of that shit. And we
Yep.
gave neither one of them a pulse at the tight end position, bro. Like, can we give our young quarterback next year someone to fucking throw it to outside of Garrett Wilson? Like Garrett Wilson is
Facts.
great, but guess what?
Facts.
Garrett Wilson isn't fucking
June,
Jamar Chase, bro. Like
T-Mac, no matter
he's
what.
not one of
T
them
Mac.
dudes.
T
Like you
June,
Mac.
gotta you gotta
hold on a
build
sec.
a real team, bro.
June, you motherfucker. You want to get rid of Garrett Wilson, and now you're
No,
saying if
no,
he goes
no,
down, the
no,
season's over.
no, 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 no. Once again, once again, Jim, I didn't say that. I said if he doesn't want to be here, get him out.
Jim,
He
don't
wants to
hold
be
June
here.
accountable. That's
No,
not
he's gonna.
allowed, please. Don't do that.
I'm not down with June's rebuild is the replacements and
Unnecessary roughness, bro. You know how I feel about
Can I
that.
say
necessary
something real
roughness,
quick?
Yo, all
replacements,
right.
and
Yeah.
invincibles. That's
Shade
June's
and then
rebuild.
Lawrence.
Necessary roughness. You forgot about necessary roughness.
Guys, I got
Well,
to
yeah,
close
that's where we get
soon.
our
So,
quarterback from.
Josh, go ahead. And then
Paul Blake.
Lawrence, go ahead.
Thanks, Petey. Real quick, I think
Josh, you hear
again.
me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
We got you. We got you.
Okay. So I think I forget who said it the other day. I think we're jumping the gun. We still have to go through free agency. So I know everyone's like, we need 2 this, 3 that, 1 that. A lot of those holes are going to get filled in free agency. And the correct way to do that is how we did it with DJ Reed. Go get guys that are young and have some upside. Maybe it won't work for
Mm-hmm.
us, but maybe it
Mm-hmm.
will. Like to me, the guy
Mm-hmm.
we're sleeping on as a right tackle is one of the offensive linemen from the Lions that can come in, teach everyone how the line should be. I forget his name. I think his name is Skipper. You know what I mean? He's a tackle. Every time they needed somebody to get replaced, he was the guy that went on there. He was their 6th guy. Get him on there, and then in the draft, get someone to compete with him. I'm tired of just handing people jobs and no
Word.
competition, and then we're
Word.
shocked. Oh my God, they suck. Yeah, because we just gave them the job with no competition. Draft a tackle to compete with the guy. Go after Josh Palmer or that guy from Dwani Brown, and get T-Mac. Make him earn it. All of
Thank
them.
you.
Make him earn it. At the defensive tackle, I don't want another Quinnen Williams clone. I want a big guy. Give me a Chris Jenkins. Give me a fat boy that's going to take 2 guys. So you got J.J., McDonald's, and Williams to feast. We need a guy that's not going to give us 8, 9 sacks. We need a guy who's going to give us like 10 tackle for losses, and it's going to eat the hole up. That's going to open up everything for us. It's going to make Sauce better. It'll make freaking, if we bring him back, Sherwood better. We need a big boy. That's who I want. I want a big fat fuck. That's all I got to say.
Fat
I just
fuck.
wanted to say pause, real quick. You know what I mean?
All right,
I
Lawrence.
mean, he is
All
right
right.
about that. We do need a fat boy at D tackle.
All right. So, yeah, no, he's right about that. But my thing was about the wide receiver and the offensive line is I don't think our offensive line is as bad as we think it is. Because when you look at the
Exactly.
pass protection stats, that doesn't involve a lot of offensive line movement. We grade it out very highly. But in the run game, where you're going to have a pin and pull or a pulling guard, or there's assignments, there's more to it upstairs that it requires of you and your offensive line coach. In our case, that was Keith Carter, and we all know how we feel about him. I feel like with a new offensive line coach, and you get an actual plan, and like what Glenn was saying in his press conference, guys knowing their responsibilities, I could see it doing a lot better, especially even if we get like Moses back on a 1 year deal and get a guy in the late fourth, fifth round, I think that would be fine to develop. And
Yep.
my second point was I'd watch out in the second round. I don't know about Ted McMillan because of his just the way he looks. He looks like he could get hurt. That's just me assuming based on his size, super skinny. But I like Jaden Higgins, dude. This guy was the highest rated wide receiver in single coverage in the whole college football, whatchamacallit, CFB. And the dude was pretty fast, 6'3", 220, 4.4 speed. I think he'd be a good red zone threat and a good deep downfield guy. Because they say he's faster than his 40 would tell you, because he's more of like a long speed kind of guy. But I do like Tyler Warren in the first because he has not just the receiving upside, but he blocks too, like you were saying. So it affects your offense in two ways instead of just one. That's about it.
I think everybody's made excellent points, and Benny makes fun of me because I want the lines, but I mean, you guys are right. I mean, we need so many pieces. Just take the best fucking player, and if you're a good scouting team, either side, whether it's a receiver in the second round or a lineman, you're gonna find those players. And the only thing I will say is, I don't want fucking Dart. I don't want him. Period. I think he's a third round pick, and to me, he's kind of that fringe good backup quarterback. We don't need that. And he's not going to give us the answer on if he's a franchise guy. So let's say we're
Wait,
picking in the
what?
top 10 next year. Are we going to say, well, we got Dart and he's looked okay. I want no part
Bro,
of Dart.
Jackson Dart is not, he's not a third round pick, bro.
Oh,
You're
yes.
insane.
No, you're insane. Go look at the film.
Okay.
No,
Everyone is
Can
no.
we
stretching on Dart.
can we revisit this
I,
at the end of the season?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Benny?
Oh,
yeah.
we can revisit right
Hey,
now.
hey,
Jackson Dart
hey,
does
hey,
not have anywhere near the tape in anywhere near shape or form to be a first round pick. He's not.
Okay.
hey,
Okay.
Alex. Hey, look. You know I love you. I might have to disagree with that one right
That's
there.
You know,
okay.
people have him. You know, people have him above Sanders right now.
But
Sanders is actually
Sanders,
falling.
do you like
So
Sanders? Be honest.
I didn't say I liked him. I said he's falling.
But
yeah,
Okay.
Sanders
and
is
that's what
like
I'm saying.
two
Listen, I
2.0.
would
Wait,
stay
hold on, Alex. If Sanders falls to 7, are you taking him?
absolutely not.
wow,
Why
No,
not?
wow.
no. I don't. I'm
Get out
not
of here,
taking Sanders
Taylor.
at
Why are you
7.
gonna wait for Pitts?
You remind me of a single mom trying to be picky about who she could date.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
listen.
Look,
Well,
I'm
hold on.
sorry,
Let's
man.
reverse it. Let's
we ain't
reverse
got
it.
no
Hold on.
quarterback,
He's right.
man.
He's
All right.
right.
Get out of
Can
here,
we?
Listen, he's
Taylor. You
right. I
jerk.
am a single dad. I got a puppy now, so he is right. He is right. I mean, he is
Hey,
right. And you know,
all
and
right.
maybe I need a little
Alex,
push in life just to
Alex,
pick a
wait,
partner. So he's not wrong on
Alex,
Congrats.
anything he just said.
Alex, way to not get personal there. I love it,
What's
Alex.
up, now?
Guys,
Congrats.
I have to close. This space has been really active today.
But let
Appreciate you
me ask
guys.
you guys.
Mark,
Let me ask you. Would
the,
you take Sanders at
hurry up,
7?
Alex,
Would you
please.
take
I
Sanders at
Yes,
would.
7?
yes,
Yes, I
yes,
would.
If
yes,
he falls on 7, yeah.
Wow.
yes.
If
I'm
I
taking
don't
him
take him,
seven.
I'm trading down to get assets for someone who wants him.
Oh yeah. Or somebody jumps up and the Jets throw a
That
smoke
too.
screen, and then you get a haul for it.
But once again,
I'm staying away from
if you can't
quarterbacks
trade
this year.
out, if you can't trade out, why wouldn't you take him? Look,
He's Teddy Bridgewater.
Agreed. I don't think he
look,
has that.
look,
And look,
look.
again, I'll rely on the coaching staff. It seems like, that the ROC, they like the short and intermediate passing game, and that is his strength. He's very accurate. He has good anticipation, and I like the way he moves in the pocket. He has very good pocket awareness, but he doesn't have the strongest arm.
Now,
No,
now,
he's
now,
like
now,
a
now,
2
now, now,
2.0.
now,
That's the way I look at him.
now, now let me say this to you. How many quarterbacks we seen that was successful that didn't have the greatest arm? I've seen Drew Brees.
Chad
I've
Pennington
Pennington.
is
seen, I've
the
seen
guy that
Chad
I
Penning.
can go
I've seen
back
a
to as a
lot.
Jet in our
Montana.
stadium.
Monte, I've seen them all. So once again, like I mean, one thing that he does do better than everybody else is he processes.
No,
He,
listen,
he
I agree with you. He is a heady player and he's
yes.
a smart quarterback, no doubt about it. But let me ask you again, it's kind of like the Tua example, and we're a fucking Northeast team. So I don't know. Do you trust him to make big time throws in January when it's windy out in our stadium? And for me, I say no. I say absolutely not. So that's why I don't want Sanders. Do I think he could be good in New Orleans or what a warmer weather place? Yeah, I do. But for us, not a good fit. And I'm okay with his attitude. I like that he's brash. I like him as a person. I actually like him. I just don't think he's our guy.
Alex,
Yeah.
out of every quarterback that's come out this draft,
Right.
he may be the only one that could handle New York in the media.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm okay with him as a person. I think he's and dude. Listen. You're talking to the wrong person. I absolutely adore Dion. I think he's one of the most accomplished like
Yes,
Americans in the history of
of
our
sports.
country.
Yes, yes.
Period. He's
Period.
unreal. So he could handle New York. I'm
Yes.
good with all that. I don't trust his arm in January making big time throws. I don't
Then why don't you
trust
like
it
Dart? Because he has a big arm.
because I think Dart is the opposite of Sanders. He's not very accurate in the short intermediate passing game. He's not. And his pocket awareness is okay, but it's not Sanders. To me, if the Jets are going to pick a quarterback in this draft, it's to be strictly as a good backup. So if they view a McCord or one of these other guys as a good backup, take him in the third round. I'm good
You
with
you
that.
you for,
But I think,
you
yeah, go
Buster,
ahead.
you forgot to mention too, man. Jackson Dart plays in a one read offense.
Right.
It's not
I'm
it's not an
not.
offense where he goes to where he constantly just goes through his progressions, or he's making checkup, or he's making checks at the line of scrimmage and rerouting certain players. No, like once Lane Kiffin calls the play, that's what's
It's
running, and
over.
it's a lot
Well
of
Sounds like
said.
Justin
RPO
Fields.
based concepts.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's him.
but you have to take
Boy,
in
you
consideration what they're
this
told to
got me
do. That
jammed.
doesn't mean they can't do it. One and two,
Mother's
you have to
asshole.
be confident that their offensive staff can help develop
Right.
somebody. There's no
That true.
perfect
All
Look,
right,
quarterback.
true that. But let me ask you this:
guys.
Do you want to take that? Do you want to take that shot at pick 7 this year?
You might have to, Alex.
Yeah,
Why? I
I'm
don't
going.
think. So what I'm saying is, I don't think you have to this year. I think
Bro,
you settle the
nobody
rest of the
thought
team
Bo Nix
down.
was gonna make the playoffs. Like,
But dude,
if
he's
you
got
That's a
Sean
fact.
Payton. He's
did
got
anybody
Sean
see his
Payton.
reviews for
He's
football?
got
Oh my goodness!
no, no. Hold on.
That's a fact.
He was a first round pick. Talked about as a first round pick all
No, he
in
was
his
not in
last.
the
No,
Yes, he
beginning.
no,
was.
no.
No,
Go to yes, he was.
no. In the
Early
beginning,
second,
in the
early second
beginning, bro, I
max.
follow draft stuff. So in the beginning, he started to
We all do. We
slowly
all do.
creep up. I didn't say you don't. I'm just saying I do. I'm speaking for myself. He
Right.
slowly started to rise up, and everybody was shocked that he got drafted that high.
Well, I agree,
Yes.
Yeah.
but he still was first
Yes.
round talent, and he went to the best offensive mind in
So,
football.
did you
I
want
need
to
one
draft Bo
team
Nix
not
last
making
year in
the
the first round?
playoffs.
Would you have drafted
Me?
him that
No,
high?
no, I did not.
See, you would have been
What was
wrong
that,
because they made
Hector?
the
Oh, well,
playoffs.
hold on. No, I would not. Would time out.
I
No, I
said we're
would
not
not have
making the
been wrong.
playoffs.
Bo Nix on the Jets is not Bo Nix with Sean Payton in Denver. You know that.
Here we go.
Absolutely.
You got a
I
You know
brand new
agree.
that.
coach now. Okay,
You know that.
brand. It doesn't matter. But we're talking about
I
the
dis.
quarterback. You
I
have a
dis.
better.
Hold on. You said a statement, and I'm rebutting
Okay.
it. You said you would have been wrong. I think a
No.
lot of the
Yeah.
quarterback is circumstantial. You know
Yes.
that.
All
It's
right,
good
Yes.
system,
Alex.
confidence, all
Alex.
that.
First, you
Yeah.
said it
I'd
was
love to
the
go on
strong
Showtime.
arm
I gotta close,
mentality. Now it's
guys.
the circumstance. You
All right,
I'm
come
saying
Thanks,
all
all the
right,
right.
Greg.
guys. I'm sorry. I know people hate the mute
I
button.
got to rebut that because I didn't
I
move a
have to
goalpost.
close.
I didn't move a goalpost on that. Bo Nix on the Jets
Alex
last
can't
year
hear
would
me.
have been a zero.
Yeah, he would never got no
A
burn anyway.
zero.
He wouldn't have played.
Stop it.
I'd like to
Stop
thank
it. Bo
everyone
we
Nix would have
got
for
sucked
being
for
here
us.
at Jets
we
Commute.
got him.
It's been a pleasure
Great
listening to
space,
everybody talk
fellas.
and argue. It's been a lot of fun. There'll be plenty more of these. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can see recordings of this and see us fight about players some more. Plus, we're planning some YouTube exclusive content that's going to be on the way. So I want to say thank you to everybody for being in here. Thank you,
He's
Petey and
such an
June.
asshole.
Well, look, someone's got to
I'm
close
back.
it.
I
Art,
We're
give
had
on
to
me
a
some
read.
roll
Taylor
today. I love it.
highlights, please.
So,
Yeah.
Alex. Alex, good to see you in here. Showtime. Shade.
Everybody's the best. God bless everybody.
I
You
see
guys are
you too,
awesome.
Brittany.
brother.
I see Bill Fond. What up, Bill? Chris.
Tune in to
Neat.
YouTube where you can see me and Mark go head to head.
Yeah, that's
For
coming.
real.
Pause. Have a great day, guys. June and Mark, thank you as always. Buckeye, Jarek,
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Jake,
Have a good
Wait,
night.
hold
Lawrence.
on.
Take care, guys.
Hurry up.
I'm here. I'm
Jerry,
ready.
Buckeye. What are we doing?
Tearing it down.
Tearing it
Tearing it
down.
down.
We knocking it down.
Trade Sherwood.
You can trade Sherwood. Bye. He's not
Air
starting.
Unsign him.
Taylor. Air Taylor.